Hello, everybody. I don't know how many everybody's there are, but hello. Um, it is 4 o'clock on Sunday in beautiful Vancouver, where the rain has returned, and it looks like it's set to stay for several days. So that's exciting. Hello, boss lady. Nice to see you. Glad you could make it. Hello, Beth. Yay, people are here. Nice to see you guys. I was just saying about the rain. It's raining in Vancouver, so it's quite gray out. I've had to actual turn on lights. I'm good, Beth. How are you feeling? My stomach is, my stomach is an ongoing situation. Hi, Billie Jean. Nice to see you. Yay! Finally got alive. Yay! Freeze warning next 2 nights. Yeah, we've had a bit of that going here too. But then it's like then the sun comes out in the day and it's gorgeous. But it looks like we're gonna get some rain for a few days, which is pretty par for the course for Vancouver. Hello, Walela. Nice to see you. Oh, I'm glad people are coming. That's awesome. You guys always make my day. Yeah, so we just thought we would do a little bit of Sarah. I kind of dropped the ball. Things were going along steadily with the Sarah calls, and then I can't remember what happened. I did a Nicole Kessinger thing, and then the Corey Richens trial started, and little going to be super cold here in the next 2-3 days. Boss lady says, and Alabama. Tiffany Dozier, I'm in Alabama and it's hot with incoming storms. Like, what kind of storms? Like rainstorms or windstorms? We're just having plain old rain, which is very, very garden variety for Vancouver. Yeah, so I just thought we would carry on with little Sarah. I used to live in Vancouver many years ago. Still have fond memories. Yeah, it's a nice town, Vancouver. I mean, it's changed. It's like lots of places where the setting is absolutely gorgeous. You kind of can't go wrong for the physical beauty. Yeah, but when I first moved to Vancouver in 1979, it was a very different town than it is now. We have since then we hosted the an expo in 1986, and then we hosted the Olympics in 2010, and both of those events saw major changes come to the city in terms of population boom and also construction and all that. And I am of an age now, where I'm starting to look around Vancouver and go, where is the city I used to know? Things have changed a lot. One of the things that I find really disheartening, but I sort of understand, is that all the new construction, all the new home construction is ugly, for one thing. A lot of it is very ugly. And then they also, everything is like these gated houses now, right? Yeah, in 1979, like I walked out of my front door and down the street and ran, headlong into a naked guy who was literally wearing socks and shoes and carrying a guitar. And the whole neighborhood was just kind of a very easygoing sort of hippie town, with like live music at the Soft Rock Cafe and, the Rainbow Shop and all these hip little stores. And now it's just, it's not like that at all anymore. It's just super expensive. It's all Lululemon and, North Face and all the name brand stores, and all the little mom and pop shops are gone. So it's very different. It's changed quite a bit. And it's not for the better always, in my opinion. As usual, the successive governments have not planned very well for the population explosion that has taken place. And so we have a terrible housing crisis. Rents are sky high for what you get. You pay a lot. I mean, we're not talking New York or anything, but, it's an expensive city to live in, and it's just getting ever more expensive. And the powers that be didn't really, even in the whole province, right, didn't really do everything that they could do. There was a lot of immigration since the 80s when the Charter of Rights and Freedoms came in, and immigration kind of opened up all across Canada. So yeah, it's changed a lot, but honestly, you cannot beat the setting for natural beauty. It is a tremendous place to live. So Storm system. Oh, boss lady is saying, is this you and Walela? You got a storm tornado watch. God, yeah, we don't have that here because we have the future husband. Who's that? Who are we talking about? What? No future husband for me. We have the coastal mountains. And so we're sort of like, we're quite protected from anything like tornadoes or, and then we have the island right off the coast as well, Vancouver Island, that sort of protects our coast from, major tidal wave type things and stuff. Oh, naked guy. No, Beth, no. No, indeed. He came from a halfway house that was on U Street in Vancouver back in the day. Long gone now. Yeah, I mean, it's not like I haven't made some doozy choices of boyfriends. Beth, I certainly have, but not naked guy. Anyway, so yeah, if people are ready, we will just start off with Sarah. I'm pretty sure that I have listened to one. This one is it's episode 10, but it's 3 parts. And it was on April 28th last year. So I'm pretty sure I've heard the first part, but I don't think I've heard all 3. So we'll just carry on with these if everybody's happy. Also, just saying, I have no credentials. I'm just an ex-mechanic with an English degree. These are just my opinions. I don't have any mental health credentials, anything like that. I just am self-taught about personality disordered people because of all of the personality disordered people that I have encountered in my life. So that's my disclaimer. So yeah, let's go. Here we go.
Welcome back to the Boondoggle Tapes, a collection of recorded phone calls, emails, and journal entries of Sarah Boone, convicted of murdering her fiancé by zipping him up in a suitcase and leaving him to die. The Boondoggle Tapes are meant to spark real conversations about the justice system, incarceration, and mental health. Today's call revolves around some significant obstacles Sarah is facing with regards to her family law case. Let's dive in.
Inmate at a Florida Department of Corrections institution.
To accept this call, press 0. To refuse this call, hang up or press. Your current balance is $3.86. This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording.
Bryn,
Hey.
are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. Did you get my email?
The ones this morning?
I just sent it to you, yeah.
No, I haven't gotten anything. The last thing I got this morning was you saying that you could file and get certified.
So your motion to compel James and the just now.
Wow, she gives no reason whatsoever, not even like a hearing.
Nothing. Just denied. So I think what we got to do is I'm going to have to print off all of those files,
What files?
all your case files. But here's the thing. The problem is that even if I print them off and send them, they said it has to come through an attorney, your attorney, or the court. So, but you can't get it through the court because it costs thousands of dollars.
What case documents are you trying to print?
Like all your files.
Sorry, I don't know how much you guys missed there. I'm not sure what happened. So, should I just carry on from where we are, or do you want me to go back? Just somebody let me know. I feel like we're probably good to go, but narcissists love being told no. Yeah, Beth, that's the truth. It's their absolute favorite. And telling a narcissist no was my favorite. Jeez. Okay, well, I'm just going to carry on.
All the stuff that James has, that right? All that stuff.
So my question is, I just don't understand what the point of her doing any of that is. Like, she couldn't even grant the order for him to give me my stuff back.
She doesn't give this reason, but she can't just tell people to do stuff. It has to be like within her purview. And the reality is that he was never on the record as your family law attorney.
Nobody was on record as my family law attorney.
I know. And he was on record as your criminal law attorney, and you gave him that stuff as a part of your criminal case.
Yeah, Sarah just doesn't understand why the judge can't order everybody around for her. I would probably get around to that, Tiffany, at some point. I have several opinions about the interrogation beyond Sarah's comments that she made. And her testimony was a blast. So eventually we'll get to that. I'm going to finish up with the Corey trial this week. I don't expect it's going to go beyond Tuesday. And then we will look at that. Yeah, I've got 2 weeks off, so I got some time to do some fun stuff. Let me go back to Sarah. Sorry.
So maybe what you could do is you could file a motion to the criminal court.
That means I would have to ask Judge Kranick.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a
right? That, Sarah, is why you don't burn your bridges the way you did with the, what did she say, that he had black robe disease, right? And now she needs something from him, and she's like, oh, right? Yeah, spring break. Boss lady, lucky me. Yes, it's nice. It's lovely to have the time off. It's not as lovely to have the paychecks off, but it's also tax time, so I kind of think I'm good to go. But yeah, so she's burned her bridges with Kranick by saying that he was biased and had black robe disease, and now she can't ask him. So she's given all of her family court stuff. If people aren't following what's happening here, she gave all of her family court stuff to Owens for some reason. She didn't give him copies. She gave him the originals, and now after the verdict, he has basically buggered off and is no longer taking her calls. And so she's trying to figure out. She was asking Judge Jackson to order Owens to give her stuff back, and of course she can't do that because this is family court. She has no jurisdiction over Owens. And Sarah is now stuck because she burnt her bridges with Judge Everett. So fun. Life lessons. I found a book on do you guys have in the States, those little, people put up those little mini libraries out there beside their houses, and people donate their books that they've already read or whatever. So today I found a book in one of those called How to Be Kind in Kindergarten. Billie Jean, Sarah has black heart disease. Yeah, yes, very good. So I haven't gone through it yet, but I thought that this might be a good book for Sarah and our other narcissist friends, because a lot of what they need to learn is the really basic stuff that you do learn in kindergarten, right? About altruism and being kind to other people and sharing and not using people as a means to an end, that kind of stuff. A lot of that gets taught in kindergarten, genuinely does. Why is your rageometer rising? Is it, Sarah?
It's a wise decision considering the fact that he is the main concern in regards to my appeal.
What do you mean by that?
Okay, so look, because he's prejudiced against me, he's biased against me, he has a bad taste of me in his mouth. There's no way he's going to do that.
Ew.
And plus...
Ew. Just saying, ew. Having a bad taste of Sarah in your mouth, can you imagine?
The fact that he's a main component of my appeal in a negative way. we're using him coming out of the gate with all the judicial errors he did.
It's so funny to hear Sarah talking confidently about judicial errors. Hilarious. Like she knows literally anything about the law based on the fact that she's just finished bitching about the fact that Jackson won't make Owens give her stuff back. It's wild.
Right. That's
Right.
that's a good point. I'm just
Can we put that on hold for just 1 second? I feel sick to my stomach. You don't understand because of that.
Oh God, I don't know about any of you guys, but it drives me absolutely batty because you don't understand. You don't understand, and like she doesn't want people to understand. You know what I mean? She wants pity and she wants everybody but at the same time, she doesn't want to be comforted. Right? She wants to be upset. So that you don't understand. You don't understand. I feel like we heard Corey saying that kind of stuff too. It just makes me cringe. Like, can you imagine this guy when his phone rings and he knows it's Sarah? And he has to put on his like long suffering, like, yes, I'm your friend and I care about what you're going through. Like, God, it would be so hard. It would be so hard. I mean, kudos to him for for pretending as long as he did.
So I just don't understand. Does she want me to just go and you know, start waving a white flag or, you know, expedite everybody's troubles and just say, F this, here you can have everything?
What is she talking about? She's just F this, I'm just going to expedite everybody's troubles. What is she even talking about? No idea. And he has to try to find a way to navigate these conversations and like not have her raging and slamming the phone down on him.
I don't understand
I don't
what if we're doing that way.
I don't know. I like I said, I think that she's
No.
probably she doesn't give an explanation.
Like, how simple is it for her to say yes, give her stuff back? I mean, why else would I be trying to contact this person?
He literally just explained to her all of the reasons why this judge cannot just say, give her your stuff back. And yet she's still like, she just doesn't listen. Nothing goes in, right? Wild.
Yeah, especially after you specifically said I can't get access to any of my stuff.
Okay, well,
I mean, look,
are you available?
At the end of the day, whatever happened, you're going to go to a higher judge and say, I was not given due process. I didn't have an attorney. I didn't have access to my materials. You have the right to defend yourself and to make a case. At the very least, your case documents. So I think we got to problem solve and figure out how can we get you one
attorney.
Well, the attorney, that ship has, I don't know what to do about that. We got to.
So that was their promise at the beginning, or I don't know if it was at the beginning, but certainly at some point, right? Delepine Creative promised her that they would pay for for her family law attorney. And I don't know if they were just planning on getting investors in their little film or what, but clearly they don't have any money. And I'm no fan of Sarah, obviously, but why are they promising her a lawyer when they've got no capacity to give her a lawyer, get her a lawyer?
Get you your case files and the FOIA request. You should write a letter. I can draft it up for you and get you the address and everything, stating, that you're a party to a case, you have a trial coming up, this is what you need.
All right, well, like, I just don't know what to say. Like, today's been a clusterfuck of a day, and then, when you get shit on, you really get shit on. So just, can I just...
Yeah, just carrying on, refusing to be happy, refusing to appreciate that he's trying to help. Doesn't even say thank you or, like, anything at all, right? Just carries on with, you don't understand, everything's so shitty. Yeah, yeah, boss lady, they bluffed the bluffer. I thought they got her one, but the lawyer noped out. Oh, okay, maybe they did, Batty McBatface. Hi, by the way, nice to see you. I have not followed all of the ins and outs of that. Probably Tanika's 2 cents can give you more information on that if you're interested. She is your place to be for all things Sarah Boone. Oh, sorry.
Go over my little list that I have, please, because I went through all of my other shit and I just like prioritized some of the stuff.
Okay, let's do it.
I'm sorry. Like, I can't describe to you how I feel right now. Did you get a chance to talk to Julian about Easter present?
I just saw your email. I texted him. I'm like 99% sure that that's been sent. I will follow up with him. Don't worry about that. I'll take care of that.
Well, just make sure he has the right address because it was supposed to have delivered Black Friday. His address is.
That's the one you gave him, right?
Yes, and I gave it to him and sent it to him twice.
Okay, well then I'm sure that's
Okay, so Billie Jean is saying to Batty McBatface, yeah, they did. The lawyer met with her, then called Julian and said, no, will not represent her. Surprise, surprise. Huh. Yeah, I hear you, boss lady, the helmet head. I agree. It is, it's not flattering. It's weird to me because she was like, I know she's a little freaky weirdo and everything, but she was not like repulsively, she was not repulsive before she was arrested. But there is just not, like, I try to find any hint of kind of beauty in her face, and there just is nothing. She just is not attractive at all. And I don't mean that like I feel like that's her personality coming out, right? I'm not dissing on her, like she's not a pretty woman or whatever. It genuinely feels like it's her ugly soul seeping out of her pores. Batty McBatface. I'm supposed to be jumping in the shower, but procrastination is my superpower, and sometimes it gives me wonderful things like a penny stream. Oh, well, that's a nice thing to say. Thanks, Batty. Yeah, procrastinating is not the worst thing in the world. I don't know. I feel like procrastinating gets a bad name.
the one you sent it to.
Okay, if you could just let me know because he keeps asking me about it, please. Did you get my durable power of attorney yet?
I got it.
Okay. Well, so all you guys have to do now is just go to your bank and have it notarized, and it's official.
Okay.
My financial affidavit. I spent the weekend with this girl, these two women. They're like professional tax attorney people, and they work for an attorney's office. They helped me complete this. I have all of the information, and they want to help me create a spreadsheet to submit with the financial affidavit so they don't have to waste any more time with asking me for their information like we're doing them. So, how do you want me to give this to you? Like, to me, it makes no sense to give it to you. So I don't know how you want me to do this.
I mean, you could send it to me can you send it to me through the tablet, or can you mail it to me?
Yeah, I think that's okay.
Whatever you think is easiest for you.
Well, what's easiest for you?
Whatever you want me to do.
Good Lord, you two. I mean, he's as bad as she is in some ways. I really, after listening to all of these calls, I certainly have questions about Peter. Like, yeah, that's what I was wondering, Beth, if they were fellow inmates, because who else could she be spending time with, right? She can't spend time with people. She doesn't have visitors. She can't hire professional tax attorneys. It must be someone from some other prisoner.
It's not just that section. There's other sections. There's 2 other sections, mind you. It's not a lot, but there's more than what we were expecting that I could put on there.
Okay, so if you were to send it to me through the tablet, does that mean you have to sit there and type everything out?
It's not that much. As far as the spreadsheet goes, I don't know when I can work on that with her, but I know that the financial affidavit needs to be submitted. So I wanted your opinion if I should send the spreadsheet with this, or if I should just send the affidavit first and then send that.
But how are you going to send me files? I mean, can you attach files and say you can't do that from there?
No, I would have to type every single character out on the tablet.
then I have to copy it down and reinsert it into an Excel spreadsheet and retype all that out. I just don't have time to do that.
I understand.
The girls that are doing the spreadsheet, are they inmates or are they?
Yes,
And how do they have access to Excel?
from their jobs. I just know that she said that she is hell-bent on getting me this spreadsheet, and they spent the entire weekend with me trying to figure all of this stuff out.
Can they email from their jobs?
No, we have no internet access.
So when they give you a spreadsheet, they'll just basically print it off and give it to you.
Yeah, it'll just be a breakdown.
Here's what I think we should do. I think you should get the spreadsheet and the financial David printed out, and you should put that in the mail and send it to me.
Oh my God, I can't do that. It's almost May 1st. You don't understand. I feel like I'm going to vomit. I have like an instant.
You don't understand. I feel like I'm going to vomit. Hi, PSR076. Nice to see you. I don't think we've met. Glad to have you here. Yeah, you don't understand. You don't understand. I think I'm going to vomit. You don't understand. So literally everything he says or does to try to move the thing forward. This is from every phone call, right? She just cannot take any suggestions on moving forward. It's always got to be, oh my God, you just don't understand. You don't understand. You just don't understand. You don't understand. It's so frustrating to listen to. I can't imagine how he got through all those months.
Skull-crushing headache. And I'll have a broken heart. Like, I'm just so sick of this. So I don't know how or what you want to do.
All right, let's circle back on that. Let me just think about it for a second, but let's keep going.
I think that Sarah is going to be a lot happier once the family court case is over, once she has been given all of the final answers, once the appeal has been denied, all of that, and then she can sort of settle down to life in prison without this constant seeking and grasping, for things on the outside of the prison. I don't think that she's ever going to be less of a narcissist or a pain in the ass than she is, but I think that she has a better chance of settling down once everything is denied her, and she just has to come to terms with, this is my life now, and nothing is going to change it.
Okay.
I mean, I agree with what you're saying, Badface. I don't think she's ever going to change, but I think all this kind of, like, the frustration of trying to deal as though you're on the outside when you're just on the inside and that's it, and there's nothing you can do, some of that will ease up for her. But I mean, she's always going to be a misery. I don't think people like this ever change. They're miserable inside out, and they have to find a way to, to put it on other people so that they can survive. So I don't think she's going to be a better person, but I think she'll be better off once she's been told no by everyone that can say no to her, and she just has to accept where she is.
I have the information for the financial affidavit. Just, I was trying to be extra and give them the spreadsheet also.
Okay.
So, were you able to do the discovery and interrogatory letters?
I just got your email now. So I am going to print those off and get those sent out to everybody.
Just to Martel, right?
Yeah, it's to Martel, and then I'm gonna upload them on the e-filing system. I'll try and get that done today and tomorrow.
Okay, please. Their jaws both hit the ground with the questions that you were asking them, and they like double high-fived me with coming back at him with that. And both of them say by law that Ryan cannot self-implement his own rules, even if he has an attorney, no matter how much it costs, that he should have been paying. Listen to this. Both of them said this, and they weren't sitting with me at the table. They told me.
Finally, we come to the point of everything is money. That's it. She wants money. That's what everything is so upsetting. That's why she's so upset. Why this is so bothering her is because she thinks that she has a shot at tens of thousands of dollars off of Brian that will, alter her existence in jail, because she'll have, assuming, like, if she gets And she says, right, I will never give up. I will never give up. I will never say die. I will never quit. Whatever. She's not willing to try to negotiate with Brian over the past alimony, right? She thinks that she is owed $1,000 a month from the month that he stopped paying it. And we're like into 5 years now, right? Like that's a lot of months now. It's like 60 months or something, right? She thinks that she's going to get tens of thousands of dollars and it's going to make her life in prison. She'll be able to lord it over everybody and buy treats. And thanks, PSR. I appreciate that. I am very grateful for all my subscribers. You guys have really added a fun and satisfying aspect to my life. So thank you for saying so. What are you asking about, Beth? What are you confused by? I've lost track of something. I've lost track of what I was saying. But yeah, I think that she thinks that she's going to get 60 grand out of him when all is said and done. And that because he wasn't, because he stopped paying the child support, or not child support, but the alimony. And she thinks she's going to get all that and that's going to change her life. But I cannot see that honestly, I have no knowledge of what the child or the alimony rules and laws might be, but I do feel like she may have forfeited some of that, right? By ending up in prison for murdering her boyfriend. Well, and doesn't she owe restitution? Right? So wouldn't a lot of that get taken for restitution? I'm sure she does, right? Doesn't everybody? Right. It all seems very crazy, but yeah, I feel like that's what her thing is, right? She's going for these tens of thousands of dollars that she thinks is going to change her life. It's going to make her be able to fight for her appeals better because she'll be able to afford all the pens and the stamps and the copies and all the rest of it, right? But yeah, I can't understand what's taking so long with this family court case. I had no like, why is it all these months later? Yeah, I mean, and then Brian, like, I mean, after everything happened, Brian went into her house and he packed everything up and he put it all in a storage for her and he took care of her car and he did all these things, as though he was still her husband, for God's sake. And she doesn't seem to have any appreciation for that whatsoever. I mean, they never do, these people, but yeah, they think they're entitled to it all. Just the way that Corey Richens thought that she was entitled to Eric's money, right? If you listen to her talk, she clearly thinks that she had every right to go behind his back and steal that $250,000, get that HELOC without telling him. She feels absolutely entitled to that. And it's exactly the same thing with Sarah. She feels entitled to Brian's money, in part because it's family money, right? That's my take on it, right? Like, well, it's just family money. He didn't earn it, so therefore I'm entitled to it. And I feel like Corey was kind of the same. It's like, well, it's just, your family is what made you successful. And so now that I'm married to you, I'm entitled to that. And that's why she's able to talk down to Peter and everything and talk to him the way she does, because she thinks that she's entitled to all his efforts, all his money, all his everything for whatever reason.
At 2 separate times that Brian should have been paying my alimony $1,000 per month in escrow. So when the time does come, the judge can delegate the money to whom it should go to, back to Brian or back to me, or dole it out to me in a particular amount. He should not, and he is in full violation of the judge's orders and the court by not paying regardless to me directly, but it should have been being put in an escrow account.
Yeah, but the problem is that the judge viewed that he didn't have to do anything. He didn't have to pay you any money. He didn't have to, until the matter is concluded.
Well, that's why I'm trying to get the transcript where the judge said, continue to pay and continue.
That seems to me like if the judge is saying put it in an escrow and you don't have to pay her anything till the decision has been made, to me that would signal that the judge is leaning in one way or another. And I could be totally wrong there. I mean, it could just be like, yeah, just do that now, because until we look at it, we can't have any way of knowing. But it's certainly not a slam dunk for Sarah, I don't think, in spite of whatever she's so certain that Brian had no right to stop paying her or whatever. I can't see Judge Jackson being on Sarah's side, really.
Can you tell his attorney to continue to pay also?
Do you have that in your file somewhere?
No, I'm trying to order that. That's another piece of the mountain.
Okay.
That's another thing that makes me so sad. That's so unfair. That's so hard for me. Poor me. You don't understand. I feel like I'm gonna vomit. I constantly walk around feeling like I'm gonna vomit.
So
figure out
in the actual files that are online, like if you go to the My County Clerk, those records, is that transcript in there or no?
No, that's court minutes, and it's not stated in the court minutes, which is why both says that to screw the court minutes to get the transcript, and that's what I need to get.
So that's another part of the another FOIA request is to ask for the transcript. All right, I got to write that up.
It's not a FOIA request. It's just a basic letter that I can write to the court, and they've already told me that they'll probably send me back a response with a bill in order for me to have to pay for it.
Yeah, I kind of think that Sarah, Boss Lady says Sarah has been convicted of murder and sentenced to life without parole. In my opinion, that should make any money Brian may owe her nullified. And I kind of think like the whole idea of alimony, right, is that like you were relying on the person that was supporting you before, and the alimony is to help you be able to live the same sort of, have the same kind of income, right? Like hardly needs that income, right? She's in the care and custody of the Florida Department of Corrections. She doesn't pay rent, right? Like what does she need that money for? I just can't see it. Hello, Mary, nice to see you. Glad you could make it. We were just dissing Sarah, so you're just in time. She is this conversation that she's having now is all about getting all the stuff ready for her financial affidavits for the family court. Mary, just so you're up to speed.
Okay. With any of these requests, I think that we should cite your indigent status and include that indigent form.
I have no way of doing that. I could just put on the piece of paper, I'm indigent.
Like it's that, right? It's that right there. I have no way of doing that. Like instead of like, yeah, that's a good idea. Is there some way that you can think of like nothing, right? She doesn't want to work with him. So she's just like, oh, like bleh. Everything's always, it's like dealing with a sulky preschooler, basically, right? Who is like, doesn't want to go to school and refuses to be jollied along.
I sent you the indigent form, did I not?
No.
But even if I send it to you, you can't print it off.
Oh.
There's no printer at the law library?
Peter, my friend forever, I will never be able to print anything as far as I know.
Peter, my friend forever. I think in the last video that I did about Sarah, we read the breakup letters. So forever, and that's a mighty short time.
Unless it comes from an effing attorney or the stupid ass court.
Would your friends that helped you with the tax thing, would they be able to print that off?
I would never ask them to jeopardize their job to do that.
Oh, it's like do that. Okay.
Simple.
I can send the.
Yeah, it's simple.
Yeah.
All you have to do is just write the clerk of the court or send them an email saying, I need the transcript from September 19th, 2022 on behalf of Sarah Boone. How much does it cost? And please, when can I receive?
Yeah, but I can also print off the indigent form and send it to them.
Whatever you want to do. Simple. Like, she's indigent, she's incarcerated, she needs the transcript for September 19th,
All right.
2022.
So you have can you remember to do this or write this down? Do you have a pen and paper by chance?
What is it?
Do you have a pen and paper by chance? Just write down.
No,
Okay.
they're kicking us off the phone because they apparently have lost inmates, so we have to go back to our bed. I'm sorry.
All right.
So I don't know what you want me to do.
Call me back.
I'm sorry. Thank you. Bye.
I know. Why don't you whinge? That's a good idea. Just whinge a little bit. No, I don't know. We have to go. Well, I don't know what you want me to do. Like, oh, God, maybe try whinging some more. Maybe that will get you somewhere.
Call is from a correction facility and is.
So that was part one. I guess he calls her back.
Welcome back to the Boondoggle Tapes, a collection of recorded phone calls, emails, and journal entries of Sarah Boone, convicted of murdering her fiancé by zipping him up in a suitcase and leaving him to die. The Boondoggle Tapes may be disturbing to some listeners. Viewer discretion is advised. Today's episode takes place on April 28, 2025, with Sarah facing additional obstacles surrounding her family law case. Let's dive in.
I mean, she is facing some obstacles about her family law case. That's true. But I think that a lot of the obstacles that Sarah faces are the obstacles of her own making, and they are of her attitude and her entitlement and her nastiness, right? That those are she creates those obstacles, and then that makes whatever other obstacles worse. So, like, so she did the thing of giving all of her family court paperwork to marry her obstacles, her personality to James Owens, right? Which was a mistake. She didn't give him copies. She gave him all of it, right? And that's her mistake. And yet she won't take that on and go, I should never have done that. That was really daft of me. Instead, she's going to blame the judge, and she's going to blame Peter, and she's going to blame James, and she's going to blame everybody else but herself for making the short-sighted decision to completely and 100% trust somebody with the only copies that she had of these things. And then no doubt treat him so much like garbage that he would then, just hightail it out of there at the first opportunity. So yes, I think that's exactly it, right? Her obstacle is her personality. I mean, we all face obstacles that we have to deal with, but my God, her attitude about facing those is just so tiring and self-defeating, really, right?
Subject to monitoring and recording.
Hey.
Are you available?
I am. What's going on?
Okay, so if I could just go through my little list and then we can figure out whatever else from there if you don't mind. You're okay?
Yep, I'm good.
Okay, so I already asked you about the Easter presents. You got my power of attorney. The financial affidavit. I was just going to...
Just so you know, I talked to Julian on the Easter present. He sent me a screenshot where it's from the thing that said it was delivered and left near the front door.
What date was that?
That's got to be for the kids. So PSR 076 says, I don't know how Brian did it. And I'm going to guess that Brian was conditioned by, his mother or some other very important adult in his life to be compliant and, do as he was told, basically, right? I mean, it takes a special kind of person to put up with this kind of stuff for as long as Brian did. It took him a long time to grow a backbone with her. I mean, quite apart from, having to pick up the slack for her constantly because of her inability to parent. He was like giving her money and stuff. And like, I mean, you could say, oh, he was doing that for Lucas, so Lucas's mother wouldn't be such a wreck or whatever, but it just doesn't feel that way. Like, even that he showed up on the day when she's phoning and saying George is dead in the suitcase. Like, why did he even go over there? You know what I mean? Like, I would absolutely run a mile. I would just call the cops myself and leave her to it. And yet there he was, right? To help her through that. He let her stay at his house that night. He went and took all her stuff for her. Like, there's nothing but conditioning, in my opinion, that could make him do that. And so that makes me question, obviously, what his own life was like growing up.
That
August 25th.
that's last week, and it's not been delivered.
Well, that's what it says on the slip. So he's gonna try and track everything down. But
What day? What day is that? Friday?
today's Monday. Yeah, it sounds like it.
That's crazy. Okay. I as much as I don't want to call Brian, but I'll call Brian again because he sits his fat ass at home all day, and I don't know if he's just being a real shit and just not giving the present to Lucas. So, and Lucas has gone out and searched the front porch and the bushes and the mailbox.
Yeah, like, just listen to the way she talks about him, eh? Yeah, boss lady, absolutely. I mean, you don't put up with that kind of stuff unless you've been conditioned to in some way, right? Maybe he had a super demanding mother. Maybe his mom was a terrible narcissist or family. But most people will not tolerate that sort of treatment, right? Not for that long. Billie Jean says, yeah, that was wild that he even went over there. She had worn him down into weary submission, it seems like. Thank God reality hit when he got to the doorway. Yeah. I mean, self-preservation, finally, right? But look what it took for him to act in self-preservation, right? It took her murdering her boyfriend for him to do it. I think that that's true. I think that she thought that he was going to somehow, help her figure out either how to get rid of the body or how to blame something other than herself, right? I just don't. I think you're absolutely right. She wanted him to get her out of the trouble she got herself into.
Okay, I'll tell him. So tomorrow you said you're doing the discovery and the interrogatories letters, certified and filing. Oh, I don't have my tablet with me. So, have you gotten a response yet from Warden Baker about my documents?
From Warden Baker? No, I have not heard anything back.
Okay. What about from Miss Foss about your denied visitation?
I have not heard back from her yet, but I have to send her the application again.
Are you serious? The fourth or fifth time? So you asked me who Bonham Walker was. Why did you ask me that?
I don't know who that is.
She's my classification officer, and Miss Foss is no longer supposedly my classification officer. She's in charge of the incentivized program.
Oh.
But Bonham Walker, on my inmate request form that I sent to Miss Foss, told her that she is familiar with your importance.
I thought it was Fawn Walker.
It's Fawn Bonham Walker.
Okay.
So don't send another application unless you really want to, but Miss Foss can do it over the effing phone. That's what's just so crazy to me. And then I was down at classifications today, and I thought that I was going to have a moment to actually introduce myself to this Bonham Walker, and then they didn't even bother having me go back and talk to her. I had to sign some paperwork, and that was it. And I said, wait a minute. I brought all of these inmate request forms that are still outstanding that I'm trying to have answered that are in regards to two of my cases that I need to speak to someone. So I had to fill out another inmate request form while I was sitting there and waiting to talk to Bonham Walker. So now I have to wait for that to be processed, to be put on the call-out list to go back down there to talk to her about all of this.
Okay.
So I don't know, but, like, I don't know what you want to do, but, like, you shouldn't have been denied. You should have been approved.
Yeah. Part of the problem is you keep getting reassigned to new people. So I just got to keep grinding through the process and just application after application.
I really hope, for me, Boss Lady says, I heard somewhere that Brian has a girlfriend now. I sure hope so. And other people were saying, oh, that would be so nice and everything. And I agree. I think he deserves, clearly after everything he's been through, Brian and his son, they deserve someone nice in their life. My only concern would be that Brian might find himself in relationship with another person who treats him that way, because it can be so hard when you have been conditioned like that. And I don't mean to judge Brian in any way, right? I ended up in, multiple relationships with the same type of people because that's how I was conditioned, and it can be really hard. So I absolutely agree that I would love to see Brian get some joy out of life, and Brian and his son both. And through a relationship with with a decent, warm-hearted woman who could maybe help them just by existing and not being Sarah, to heal and move along, right? But it can be very hard. And I mean, I think a lot of us are in the same boat where we don't want to have another relationship because we keep picking the same type of people because the conditioning is so strong, right? So yeah, I mean, I think that Brian and the lad both deserve some, they just deserve some gravy instead of what they've been given all these years. Yeah, right. Can you imagine? PSR says, can you imagine if Sarah learns about it?
Application, and
Yeah.
hopefully we'll get approved. But I feel like we're finally getting the right people. So.
Well, I mean, you have submitted it, 4 or 5 times now, and they, after all 4 or 5 times, misspelled your name.
Yeah, which is insane.
Like, unacceptable. I'm like debating on grieving it because it's just wild to me that you could have been approved with a plane ticket in hand to come down here and see me, and you can't because they fucked up again.
Yeah, I bet he's just heartbroken about that. Just heartbroken. I mean, he just was dying to get on a plane and go down there and see her. And then, the people at the jail fucked it up. So sad.
You don't want to piss anybody off. So let me just go through the steps on my end and get it approved.
I can't help wondering if he is basically just saying, like half the time that he's just saying that he's doing things, that he's not actually doing them. That is kind of my guess. Like, I don't feel like he is super committed to this, right? Like, personally, it was this idea of how they could make money off of her by doing this documentary. But I don't think that there's any real personal connection here at all, or that he feels any kind of urgency to help this person.
Okay, well, I'm just going to let you do that, then whatever else it is. Just,
okay.
You do realize that it's let's just say it's May, and you started doing this in February, March, April, May. So 3 months later or 3 months more, what might I have to wait?
Well, hopefully not. I mean, if she can do it.
Are you going to put that in your message?
Yeah, I'm going to send her a note. Hey, listen, it's been since February. I can't seem to get this approved. Can you help me? And I'll take care of it. I'm also going to send the 2 letters to Brian's attorney.
And file it online?
Yep, and I'll file. Yep, I got that right.
Right? Beth says 3 times they misspelled his name. That's a reach, right? I'm just getting this very strong feeling that he's just saying that he's done this, and he hasn't really. He's just lying. So that she doesn't, because he doesn't probably really want to actually go see her. I mean, God. You'd have to travel. Like, it's like you have to make a day of it, right? To go visit her in prison. Ugh, can you imagine? I mean, unless you were literally going there to, like, do a psych evaluation of her, like, what would be? Can you imagine wanting to go see Sarah? PSR says, I just can't stand her. She's horrible to people, regardless, son, ex-friend. It doesn't matter. Ex, comma, friend, comma, it doesn't matter. Yeah, she's vile. She's vile. And when she's in friendship with someone, like she was friends with, I think her name was Christina, who was another inmate who got out before Sarah went to court. And the saccharine, sweet, syrupy, oh my God, love you to the moon and back. You're the best friend I ever had. You're so amazing. That kind of, I mean, it's love bombing, obviously, but it's not even it's not even good love bombing, right? It's just so crap. It's just so saccharine and empty and shallow and surface that it's hard to even conceive of how empty she actually is, right? Yeah. She doesn't have friendships, but it's weird. Like, that's one of the confusing, right? Is because you think to yourself, does she know that she's just using these people? Or does she think this is friendship? Because in her experience, this is friendship. I would kind of venture a guess, right? Like, it's like the thing of like, when somebody is really, really nice to her and she gets all those wonderful feelings of, endorphins and all the little chemical rushes and everything. I'm sure that she experiences that as love, that's what love is, right? And that when that and because she's a human being, right? And she knows that human beings feel love, so she must feel love also, ergo that must be love. And I don't think it's as calculatedly thought out as that. But you know what I mean? But it's like, I think that I don't know. This is kind of what I'm asking. Like, what do people think? Does she think that this is friendship? Does she think that she's friends with Nicole and that she was friends with Lana? Or is she aware that she is literally just calculatedly using all those people, right? It's a very weird, like, I think it's true that they are tools and people are like objects, right? And when they stop working properly, she discards them. But I just don't know if she's aware of that. I'm just not sure, right? I don't know. I just wonder what other people think about that. Because I think it's very true that she just uses people. It's all transactional. It's all um, shallow and empty. But I just don't know if she knows that. I don't know if she knew that she was using Lana, or if she really did think that she loved her.
Did James receive his letters?
Yes, he received them.
Who signed for them?
I don't know. I have to track that down. But they were both delivered. I know that because I tracked it. I looked. You type it in online and it tells you it's delivered and the date.
Yeah, and they usually show you a signature, so hopefully that might be up there by now.
They may have, but I didn't. But regardless,
Okay.
Regardless, it was denied. So
It doesn't matter, though. He could hopefully be the upstanding citizen that he says that he is and all this other bullshit and just give me my shit back.
I've called him and left him messages. I've asked him personally. I've emailed him. We've sent him letters. I mean, if he wanted to, send you the stuff back, he would have done it. Not gonna happen.
Okay, well, my thing is, though, and I'm not upset with you, so forgive me. I don't understand how this judge can say no to an attorney and then no to my documents in order for me to be my own attorney. How is that possible?
So
what sense does that make?
I don't think it makes sense, and I think it's not fair. So I think what we can do, though, is maybe
have a $1 million attorney. Don't you think that the attorney would say, no, you shouldn't do this, or maybe because she's so destitute and stupid and she's behind bars that she'll never know?
Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe he's not being exactly honest with his attorney. I don't know. But
what happens if they refuse? I mean, can they not come back because his attorney is notorious for coming back with some effing case law that says that we don't have to answer this or we don't have to do this? But this is the way that we're going to do it.
I don't know. You very well might. And we're going to have to cross that bridge when we get to it. But I think in the meantime, if we send this information and we send these requests, then, the onus is on them. And if they have to, deliver it all, then that's a big pain in the butt. And what I would suggest is, let me reach out to these guys and say to them, like, hey, I spoke with Sarah. She's still willing to mediate. I mean, the amount that he's probably spending in attorneys, I mean, he could have settled with you already.
Correct.
So, and then on your end, if you want to mediate, you got to think about like, okay, well, how do we? Well, let's cross that bridge when we get to it.
That's fine. Well, and I'm going to send you the 9 pages of financial affidavit that you sent me. I was going to write down, okay, let's just, for example, page 6, under A, household, under food, this amount of money. So I was going to put that on there, but did you tell me earlier that yes, I should submit with the spreadsheet? Or I should just submit the financial affidavit? Because I'm telling you this also, that both of the girls that I'm working with told me that you need to budget this financial affidavit based on your $1,000 per month in alimony.
I would send whatever you're putting together for your...
Whew, sorry, that was a long one. So she's saying that she needs to budget like she's getting $1,000 a month, so she has to spend all of that money the way that city councils have to spend all of their budget, or they won't get as much next year. That's how I'm taking that. Hi, Chocolate Chip 12. Long time no see. Glad you could make it. But as Billie Jean says here. Billie Jean says she has learned what appropriate emotions are through observation and tries to mimic them in her interactions, but she has no emotional empathy. The only emotions she relates to are her own. Yeah, I would absolutely agree with that. But like the thing about that is that she then thinks that other people are like that too, right? Like that's part of the projection that they do. So when she's like talking about what a low life she thinks Brian is, it's because she thinks that Brian is plotting and scheming the way that she plots and schemes, right? Rather than that Brian has finally, come to his senses and stopped being willing to, be at her beck and call for everything. Hi Chocolate Chip 12. Yeah, it's actually alive. So I have found that I just don't have the time to make videos and then attend premieres as well, because it just ends up taking more than twice as long. So it's actually easier and much less time consuming to just do the lives. Yeah, projection, Beth. That's exactly it. Yeah. So she thinks, that everybody is the way that she is, right? Which is why eventually she has to discard everybody. Yeah. So there's Brian. Hi, Brian. He just always struck me. I mean, I don't know. The way she talks about him is not flattering, obviously. But he has always struck me as kind of a gentle soul. And in some ways, like tolerating the physical abuse the way he did and sort of playing it down and everything. Like, I think it might have taken him some time to kind of understand how badly he was being abused. You know what I mean? I hope he has availed himself of some therapy.
Financial affidavit, like having it sent to me or Nicole or anybody else and then sending it to the court, that's just like an extra step. Why don't you just send that right to the court?
On what document, Peter?
Well,
it's just me on a piece of notebook paper.
What are you getting shown?
What do you mean?
By your friends that are writing all this out and drafting all this stuff up. How are you looking at it?
From your documents that you sent me that I saved to my tablet under my pictures. So we went item by item by item by item on all 9 pages.
She's kind of actually just given me a little flashback to Kathy Nestor here, the defense lawyer for Corey Richins, and her snotty, nasty tone in which she constantly asked questions, and the way that she treated witnesses in that snotty, what do you mean type. Like, he's literally trying to help her, and she can't control her condescension even a little bit, right? Like, it's weird to me, the thought process that must be going on there to think that, like, you're locked up in prison, right? You don't have a lot of allies right now. So maybe the very few allies that you do have, you might want to not treat them like absolute turds on the bottom of your shoes, because they don't have to keep answering your phone calls. I just can't imagine treating people that way when I was so in need of their support, right? It just seems so crazy to me.
And then on the last page, or the page before that, I have things that I can actually put on there other than the little dink-ass section that everybody thought I had to fill out.
Okay. So what if you were...
It's not a lot.
So if you have a way to like have me transcribe that into the document, then I can do that. But I just want...
I have no way.
Okay. Well, if you don't have any way to do it, I'm just trying to figure out like what's the fastest way to get this done.
It would be me sending you the numbers on the tablet and then you inputting it on there and then filing it online.
Okay, done. We can do that.
That's why I was trying to...
Right? Didn't he already said, I don't have time to do that. And now she has whinged and complained and whined and made things so obnoxious that he's like, okay, I can do that. Right? She's talking about sending him all the information on the tablet and then him inputting that all into an Excel spreadsheet for her. He literally already says, there's no way I can do that. I have no time to do that. And now he's saying, yes, I can do that. I mean, he is trying to get something out of her. He is behaving transactionally as well, but just saying, trying to set boundaries with these people is, it's not for the faint of heart, shall we say.
I was trying to figure out why I have to send it to Nicole for Nicole to send it to you. And then, so, I mean, maybe 10 minutes worth.
Okay, so I'm like just strapped on time. So I was thinking if Sarah could, if Nicole could take all that information, put it into the document exactly how you want it, and then send me the document, then I could just file it. But if you don't, because the document is very easy. Like click on it and then you type in.
Okay, that's fine. I'll call her tomorrow.
Billie Jean says, oh man, can you imagine if Nestor had been Sarah's attorney? I think we got lucky with Owens in hindsight. I honestly didn't hate Owens. He was like a dorky weirdo. He was such a dorky weirdo in some ways that it was impossible to hate him. And the fact that he had so clearly bitten off more than he could chew with Sarah made him in some ways kind of an underdog type that you couldn't quite hate on. I really did not have good feelings at all towards Henderson, but Owens, I mean, I was going to say you got to hand it to him. I'm not sure what I mean, hand it to him for what exactly, but I think that he thought that he was going to be able to talk her into taking a plea deal. And that he didn't bargain for, he didn't know what he was getting into. But then once having gotten into it, he saw it through. And it must have been, can you imagine, right? Put yourself in his shoes, being on the floor in that courtroom, trying to sell this battered spouse defense. Like, you could not pay me enough, right? And of course she hates him now, right? She hates everybody eventually, right? I mean, that's what they do. Narcissists do that. They do this splitting thing and the black and white thing, and like they're not capable of understanding that people are nuanced and can have good and bad qualities and stuff like that. It's very hard to imagine how that must be, but that is literally what they're like. And once you have revealed yourself to be not perfect, like that's it. It's spoiled forever for them, right? And that's just how they are. So people to them are either all good or all bad. Yeah, that's a right. Owens could not parachute out of that courthouse fast enough. And I mean, who can blame him? Can you imagine? Look at the way she's treating Peter, right? Can you imagine the way she treated Owens throughout? I'm sure she was terrible to him. Yeah. So I Owen strikes me as kind of a shyster and an ambulance chaser type of dude, but I don't have a hate on for him particularly. I feel like I feel like, yeah, good for him for keeping her documents. I'm sure she did and said things that made that come to pass. And that it's not on him. She probably was horrible enough to him that he is absolutely justified in washing his hands of her and shredding all of her documents and walking away. So just saying. I don't hold any of it against him particularly.
Tomorrow. But are you telling?
And if she can't do it, I'll get on the horn with you and we can do it. But it's not going to happen tomorrow. It's going to happen, probably later in the week.
I'll get with her tomorrow, and then I'll have her send it to you. That's going to be my priority tomorrow, is to get this. But my question to you is, please, do you want me to submit the spreadsheet with this, or do you want me to just give the stupid financial affidavit and then worry about the spreadsheet later if they request it?
Okay, so what is? I think you should just file the affidavit. I mean, what you want to show. Okay. So I'm not sure what's in the spreadsheet, but I think what you want to show is like.
All I'm putting are dollar signs. Like for under household, I can actually put food, and it's $400 a month. I went next door. They encouraged me to go next door, write down a 7-day menu of items that you think that you need to eat in regards to your low blood sugar and a normal meal, because they serve greasy food here, which upsets my stomach, which is what I take Protonics for, an actual medication, and then calculated everything for me. So that's what I'm trying to put with just food. They're going to want to know, why are you spending $400 on just food? And all of these are estimates, because it says that you can estimate anything on there.
Okay. So, yeah. So, I mean, if Nicole has the time and you could have her transcribe that into like a Word document or an Excel spreadsheet, that would be awesome. Or.
What are you talking about? The financial affidavit?
No, I'm talking about you said that there's an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah. Billie Jean, you could tell he was stressed out of his mind towards that. That's why I was saying, like, literally try to put yourself in his actual shoes in that courtroom, fighting that case, physically being there, like the actual act of being there and fighting that case, what that must have been like for him. It must have just been an absolute nightmare. He must have known he had no chance. And that whatever the outcome was, that it that Sarah was never going to be grateful or appreciative or change or be better, or I suspect he was probably in the same frame of mind that Peter was in when he wrote the breakup letter saying, "You're a murderer and we don't want anything to do with you. You're a monster, the kind that people are afraid of that live under the bed." Like, I'm pretty sure Owens had those feelings. I can't imagine spending any amount of time with Sarah and not feeling that way.
I have to put it together still. No, it's not an Excel spreadsheet. Just the one girl said that she's probably going to handwrite it for me and call it a spreadsheet. We don't have documents like that. So it's just me and her just sitting down and taking notes.
So take out the word Excel. I was just saying the spreadsheet, whatever that is. I got to get that into some kind of digital form. So however that gets, communicated to Nicole so that she can put that together and then send it to me, I can do that with the financial affidavit and then file it. If she can't do that, then you and I can get on and do it. But so I guess your question, Sarah, is should you provide all this the detail
now, or just wait for them to motion us to do it?
Yeah, I think that's probably the better way to go. But at the same time, I don't think you should stop, because we're running out of time here. So I would definitely record all this stuff. But I think we should get the financial affidavit up there and as fast as possible.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so I'm going to send the information to her, and then she's going to forward it to you. And then once they motion us for me to do my itemized statement, then that's when I'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, I said yeah. I think
Okay.
that's right.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so what's going on with guardian ad litem? Do I have to write a motion for this? Because they told me I should have already done this.
So, okay, I'm glad you brought that up. Can you?
Yeah, she's exhausting. She's just exhausting. He's like, he had to repeat that like 3 or 4 times to get her to finally agree to the thing that was obvious in the first place. Yeah, they, Billie Jean says, "Oh God, the fucking blood sugar crap." She dry and wet, lol, begged substantial funds from people and used them for snacks as her priority. Then wins she has no money for stamps. Yeah. I think that that's probably right. I think that's an astute observation. Um, yeah, you often see addicts of all kinds, right? That it's because sugar gives you a different kind of high, right? For sure. We used to see the drug addicts in the corner store buying all the penny candies and stuff, you know, the really, really sweet stuff. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's a good point, Patty McBatface. Sarah has enough money for pens and papers for manifestos to the judges, but she can't write out a financial statement. Yeah, and it's been going on for a while, this conversation about the financial statement, and he keeps trying to solve her problems for her throughout all these conversations. He's always trying to offer solutions, and she's always being snotty and rude to him in response to his efforts, and then doubles down on the snotty rudeness whenever he tries to set a boundary of any kind. So yeah, right, boss lady. The AA meetings are full of coffee and cigarettes. Yeah, I think we're all kind of clear on that. So anyway, let's carry on. Let's just see if we can get through.
Can you explain to me what exactly guardian ad litem means?
They both had one in their family law cases when they became incarcerated. What they are is they're appointed by the court. They go and talk to Lucas in confidentiality and ask him, do you want to have a relationship with your mother? Do you want to visit her? Do you want to talk to her on the phone? Do you want to send her e-cards? How do you see yourself with your mother? Do you love your mother?
Yeah.
Like, how
does she not know that that's a pretty big risk? Yeah, same. I've been to several AA meetings. I dated a guy that drank a lot, and I would go to meetings with him. And I attended some Al-Anon meetings, but I did not find them particularly helpful. I found that for me, and I know it's been helpful for a lot of people, but one of the things that for me was off-putting about the Al-Anon meetings was that there seemed to be so many people that were extremely struggling and extremely upset and extremely having a terrible time of it, and they were saying that they'd been coming to these meetings for like 15 years or 20 years or 12 years or whatever, and I was like, I would have wanted them to help before 15 years had elapsed. Oh, hey, Sigma says, our 12-step fellowship, no smoking and only some meetings make coffee. I remember when I was in AA, but 10 to 11 years ago, I had a coffee commitment. I'm not sure what that means, a coffee commitment. Anyway, I'm not totally against the 12 steps and AA. It obviously works for some people, and some people not so much. Some people find the whole giving up to a higher power, their power to a higher power, that can be hard for people who have been abused. A lot of people have been abused through religion, and so that's deeply difficult. Yeah, I think it's not like they don't have anything to offer, boss lady. I think they definitely do, but I also think that they have their limits. There's another group called RR, which is Rational Recovery. And it keeps the kind of the God thing out of it. And that works for some people. I don't know. I am blessed in having never struggled to that extent with any substance that was taking over my life. I have been witness to other people going through it, but not personally experienced it. So I am extremely grateful for that. Sigma, I'm a member of NA. Our third step leaves it open for a higher power or for your comfort in choosing. Yeah, I mean, and I think that a lot, over the years, people have come to understand that, you can look at it in, you take what works for you, for sure. But I think one of the things that about AA that, like, it's supposed to be a cycle, kind of, right? Like, you go through all the steps and you're just constantly going through them, and that eventually it's this self-fulfilling kind of thing where you gain control of your addiction and you start to move forward with life. But to me, I think one of the things that's not really addressed through 12-step programs is trauma, basically, right? And that it can kind of be a bit victim blamey, right? So for people who are really struggling with trauma, and that is why they are using substances to cope with the symptoms of the trauma, it can be really shaming to not be able to get a hold of that because your trauma is still so intense, right? So I feel like the 12 steps can be kind of moralizing and miss the point of, like, people need to heal from the trauma that is making, like, symptoms of trauma are incredibly uncomfortable to cope with, right? Incredibly uncomfortable. And people who are dealing with addictions are incredibly ashamed of the fact that they can't get a hold of themselves, right? That they can't seem to overcome the need to, medicate the symptoms, right? So I just think there's room for a lot of kind of different modalities. That's all. Hey, Gemma, I'm glad you could be here. Isn't it like the middle of the night for you? Yeah, right. I feel like the trauma side often doesn't get addressed, right? And so people continue to struggle, and then they feel shame because they're continuing to struggle, and then that becomes, this self-fulfilling prophecy where, like, I think about someone like Carmen from the Corey Richins trial, right? Like, for most of us that have been in watching this, right, that people that have watched on my channel or whatever, we sort of have this same feeling about her, right? That she is struggling, and that she suffered abuse, and that's why she has struggled all her life with drug use issues, right? And probably the reason that she has struggled and continues to struggle is because it can be very hard to treat trauma. Like, and even if you go for trauma treatment, there's no guarantee that your trauma is going to be healed, right? I mean, sometimes things don't get better. So I'm just saying, not that I have the solution or the answer, but I try really hard to be open-minded about people who are struggling with substances, open-minded about what they're going through, and how hard it can be, So, yeah, just saying.
How much does your mother mean to you? And then they go in front of the court and say, this is what he said and this is what he wants, to back up everything that I'm trying to fight for in regards to my parental rights.
So yes, let's. So I think we should file it.
They're a neutral party and they're an advocate for Lucas.
So I think that's extremely important. So we have to ask the court to appoint one.
Yes.
Okay.
And they're both so surprised that neither judge, idiot Dean from the first one and then this lady here, have not automatically initiated that.
It's very weird to me. The whole reason I actually stopped the video was to talk about this guardian ad litem thing, where she seems to be all gung-ho, like she wants to get one because she thinks that when this, uninterested party goes and talks to her son, that the information that the son is going to give is that, yes, he loves his mother, and yes, he wants to go visit his mother, and yes, he wants to talk to her on the phone every day, and yes, he wants to have her be involved in his life. And I think she might be heading for a big ugly fall. Yeah, EMDR is a really great trauma treatment. I have had several EMDR treatments. And it's, I can't explain it, but it does seem to somehow kind of rewire things, and it can leave you with a new story from the story that you told yourself about your trauma. Not that you were wrong to do that in any way or whatever, but that you can come away with like a different narrative, right? That is empowering, rather than, shaming or whatever. So I can absolutely recommend it if people are wondering. I found it's very non-invasive, and it can have effects that like talk therapy can't even approach, right? In terms of actually rewiring your brain so that your amygdala is not constantly switched on, that kind of stuff, right? EMDR, Mary, stands for eye movement desensitizing and reprogramming. So the eye movement isn't really part of it anymore, but it used to be that they would get you to move your eyes back and forth while you were talking about or tuning into whatever the traumatic experience was. And by doing that, you were sort of going back and forth between your left brain and your right brain. And I cannot tell you why, but somehow doing that. So they don't do the eye movement anymore. What they do is the couple of EMDR therapists that I've seen, they give you these little paddles that you hold on to, and they buzz, and they alternate. They buzz in one hand and the next hand, and they go back and forth. So again, it's stimulating left brain, right brain, left brain, right brain, left brain, right brain, while you are tuned into the trauma or the story of the trauma, either talking about it, thinking about it. Tapping is emotional freedom techniques. That's EFT. And that's actually based on the acupuncture meridians in your body. And so you're tapping on different points on your face, and your upper body, your chin and your here and under your arm. And that is supposed to, it's similar to acupuncture or acupressure, right? That it allows energy to flow. So if you have energy, if you've been traumatized or have, negative beliefs or whatever, that somehow the actual flow of chi through your body has been stopped up, and that if you are, same idea, you tune into the trauma or the negative belief or whatever the problem is, and you stimulate those acupuncture points while you're doing that, that it actually has a way of moving. This is, again, like I have no way of scientifically saying that this is happening or not, but I learned the whole EFT thing, how to do it. I was like a teacher and a trainer and a EFT therapist in one incarnation of my life. And it's a super adaptable tool. And if you are so motivated, you don't necessarily need to see a practitioner, right? You can learn how to do it yourself. It works great for panic attacks, stuff like that. It can be really helpful with children. When they're, being upset or having nightmares or night terrors or being afraid of the boogeyman or being, having problems in school or social problems, that kind of stuff. Kids can be very open to it. So yeah, I would absolutely recommend both EFT and EMDR. And the tapping you can do yourself, right? It can be just really helpful to kind of bring you down if you're having a lot of, difficult emotions, stuff like that, right? It can just be, it just somehow it moves energy, and it allows you can generally feel after you've gone through some kind of a process of tapping EFT that you end up letting out these great big sighs and stuff. And this is, according to the program, that's a sort of indication of energy moving, right? Being able to have cognitive shifts about things, right? And it can be super helpful. But yeah, like if none of those modalities are sort of combined with, like, I think we need more than just the 12 steps is kind of what I'm saying, right? We need to address the trauma that is driving the need to medicate the symptoms, right? So anyway, blah, blah. Let's try to get through this video. Thank you all for sharing your experiences. I Appreciate it. It seems like a lot of you have had some experience with, yeah, the tapping solution on YouTube is a good introduction. Yeah, there's a ton of websites now where you can find it. Yeah, it's called Emotional Freedom Techniques, is what EFT stands for. I think www.emofree.com is the original website of Gary Craig, who is the guy that discovered it. And his whole thing was that he had money. He was fine. He didn't need money. He just wanted to help people, and he discovered this technique. And he put on, at the time, it was before, like in the early noughties when I was learning about this stuff, and it was everything was on CD or DVDs at the time, right? And so you could buy the program, and then on the DVDs, it literally said, hey, you can give this away. Hey, Moira, nice to see you. You can give these away to like 100 people or whatever. Like, he just really wanted the program out there. He just really wanted people to have access to it. So I always really admired that about him. Because he could have made a lot of money at it, and instead he just tried to get the word out. So very appreciative of that kind of integrity.
And they said that he should have already also, nonetheless, that he's 14 years old.
All right, just so I'm clear with all this, we're sending the letters certified, and those are going to get filed, okay?
Yes.
Then secondly, I'm going to draft a motion asking for a guardian ad litem and send that to you for your approval. And once that's done, we will file that, correct?
Yes, you got it.
Okay.
Yes, please. And if you could add to your list to please contact Boss and Bonham Walker about your denial from your misspells of your last name.
Boss and Walker, right. I have that written right.
And
Okay.
please. And in the meantime, I am writing the Florida bar, in regards to James returning my stuff. I'm sending a letter. I want you to know that via legal mail. I'm also going to write a letter to the guardian ad litem of Orlando to make sure that they know that you are writing this motion so they can look for it and back us up. You're doing the hard part. I'm going to do the easy part of just sending them a letter so they know, and I am officially requesting it from them directly, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then also I wanted to ask you, so when I went down to classifications today, they asked me where the paperwork was. So this judge has not initiated a pre-trial conference docket yet that I need to present to them in order to be put on the call out, like she did for my telephonic hearing for the case management. What do you suggest I do? I should have already received that the day that she scheduled it, which was back in March.
What are you trying to receive?
So the judge made an order for the case management conference back in March for me to be able to be on the telephone conference call.
Okay.
She has not sent anything since that has occurred in regards to the pretrial conference on May 28th. Classifications was asking me, where is this paperwork? We can't put you on the call-out list until we receive that. I should have already received that.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine, right? It must be super duper frustrating to be in prison and trying to make all this stuff happen when you don't have access to anything, and you're a terrible narcissist who thinks that everybody should be doing everything for you. So she must be literally just beside herself with upset constantly all the time. So the guardian ad litem, what she was talking about, based on what she was saying, it's about getting, an uninterested or a disinterested party to talk to the son and get the information from the son about how he feels about, connecting with Sarah, right? About visiting her, getting phone calls from her, having holidays and all that kind of stuff. And she's like all trying to make it happen, because I think that she thinks that the son is going to be like, oh yes, I want to see my mom, and I want to go to the prison, and I want to talk on the phone to her every day, because she can't conceive of the fact that he's growing up, right? Like, I mean, little children love their parents just automatically and want to be with them, right? But at a certain point, if you abuse that child enough, right? They grow up and they learn and they don't feel that same way anymore. And I suspect that she still is imagining that her son is this young boy who just loves his mom, right? That no time has passed and that he hasn't been affected by all of this, right? Since the day that she murdered George. And that's very typical of someone like Sarah because she cannot imagine what other people are feeling, right? It's because everything is literally about her. The gall to keep Brian out in neutral party. I'm sorry. The guardian ad litem to keep Brian out in the neutral party, right? That's thanks, Sigma. Hey, Suma. Nice to see you. Where are you? What are you saying? Hi, I do think Sarah is thinking about what her son wants, but also, yes, she sees him as he was. Yeah, I don't think that she realizes that he's like 14, 15 now, and maybe this is not, I mean, 14, 15-year-old boys don't necessarily want to spend a ton of time with their moms anyway, right? Never mind if their mom is like a convicted murderer. Gem in the Mud said 86% of prison inmates in America have been sexually abused by a family member. Yeah, imagine if society didn't bury this issue and actually addressed it. That will happen in my lifetime. Billy, I get you. Yeah, I mean, absolutely, right? There are legions of traumatized adults walking around in the world, not getting acknowledgement or treatment or whatever. So is he that old now? So what year was it? It was 2020, right? And was he not 9? Anyway, he's certainly old enough, right? I left home when I was 15. Very clear-eyed. Bye-bye. Right? I don't tolerate this from you anymore. I'm leaving, right? So like 14, 15, 16 is very much old enough to start making those decisions, right? Yeah, Billie Jean, I think that's accurate as far as his age goes. So yeah, I mean, if he doesn't want to see her, that would not be surprising to me. I mean, it's brave. Is it brave, right? Like, I was being treated horribly at home. Right? Like, that's the thing, right? Like, the situation that I moved into, which was, first of all, I lived in my friend's basement. Her mom let me live in the basement. And then I lived in another friend's basement for a while. And then another friend of me got a horrible little apartment. And then from there, I moved in I was 15 and, I had to sort of join the punk rock scene and moved in with a couple of other punks who were older than me. They were 17 and 18. And they were both, needle dependent heroin addicts. I was not. And I did not ever do any of those kind of drugs with them, but it's very clear to me, right, that if that is a better option than home, then what is home, right? Like, yeah. Billie Jean also left home young, right? Like, you don't go and choose that situation out of bloody mindedness, right? You go choose that situation because the home environment is that bad, right? So yeah, that was what ended up happening with me, Mary, is that after we got kicked out of that apartment where we were all living, the landlady, it's kind of a long story, but the landlady eventually figured out that none of us was old enough to be living there, and she kicked us all out because we had an adult first, and then she left all us teenagers behind. They figured that out and they kicked us all out. And at that point, oh, thank you, Moira. That's very kind of you. At that point, I ended up moving in with a friend and her mother, and I ended up staying with them until I graduated high school, until I finished my first year of college. And I called her mom till the day she died in 2021. So I was extremely lucky. I had some I was in a pretty dubious situation, although I have to say that those two people that I lived with, the two addicts, they cared very deeply about me not getting into trouble, right? They were very much not ever trying to, push drugs on me in any way, right? The sculptor is the friend's sister. The friend is the younger sister. Yeah, I was showing off my foster sister's sculptures the other day because she's obscenely talented, but she's the older sister, so I never really lived with her. She had 3 older siblings, but they had all left home by the time I moved in. So it was me and Susanna and Mom. It was just the 3 of us, and we had this very happy little family unit for 4 years, right? Till I and Susanna had even gone. She was a year older than me. And so she had gone off for a year to Europe. Her mom had sent her off for a year to Europe, and I just stayed living there and finished my last year of high school, kind of thing. Like, I was incredibly, incredibly lucky. Yeah. So just saying, I've kind of lost track of where we were, and I'm talking about myself again. But let's see what PSR says. We don't know what this situation has done to her son. Many have said she wasn't spending time with her son most of the time George was with him. Yeah, like, I mean, she was already abusing him before all of this happened, right? So, exactly. Boss lady says, when my girls were teens, I housed several of their friends temporarily while they were going through it with their parents. Yeah. And a lot of my friends' parents, when I was a teenager, they were all like, what is wrong with your mother? Like, you're perfectly a normal kid. Like, what is the big deal, right? She was constantly grounding me. And I eventually got grounded and she said, until you turn 8, for the rest of your life, or until you turn 18, whichever comes first, kind of thing. So I was literally like, I was locked in the house, basically. I wasn't allowed to go anywhere. I had to climb out my window if I wanted to go anywhere. And that included like just to a friend's house to like have a cup of coffee or something, right? So I'm sure that some of you had. Yeah, me too, Mary. I was absolutely blessed. My mom she was an English teacher, and she taught English at the adolescent psychiatric ward at the Vancouver General Hospital for all the time that I lived there as a teenager. And then when she retired from teaching, she went on to become to have a whole new career as a naturalist, and she started a whole series of community nature groups for children all over British Columbia. And she founded a children's nature magazine that she was literally still editing like the week before she passed at 91. So she just was a huge inspiration to me and continues to be. So sorry, I am trying to get through this video. So let's carry on with Sarah.
She should have already created and sent to me an order for that free trial conference. What do you suggest I do? Continue to wait?
Hang on a second. Just got the 2 denials today, and I just got, let me see. I don't know if it's just replicated because it comes to 2 different email addresses. Let me just make sure.
So just if your people were not following or have just showed up, he's talking about, he has been apparently trying to get his visitor pass, made credible so that he can go and visit her in person. And what he is telling her is that he keeps putting in the application and they keep denying it for various reasons. So I don't know if he's lying. And just really doesn't want to go visit her, but that's what they're talking about. Yeah, exactly, right? It's not just that she left somebody in a suitcase, which is bad enough, but that she left George in a suitcase, and George had a relationship with the boy, right? I mean, I get the impression that George was quite a gentle soul. Yeah, Jem, that's cool, right? Jem says, I left home and worked backstage in theaters for years. The containment and predictability did wonders for me. Yeah. 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 The arts, right? Theater kids. They're a proper breed. Anyway, sorry, I interrupted. I'm trying to get through this.
Okay. Judiciary order setting pretrial conference. Is that what you're looking for? I just got this. Okay. Uniform
Is
order.
she mailing me? Is she mailing me one here? Am I in the certificate of service?
I think she has to probably either email it or mail it. Yeah, she's got to mail it.
It says that in there?
It doesn't say it in here, but I would assume that she's got to mail it to you.
Listen, assume nothing. They've never included me on anything.
If I send this to Nicole, can she copy and paste this and send it to you?
That costs $2 a page. And her cat is dying and her son needs uniforms for school. So too nice to tell you that.
Attorney's fees and costs. Okay.
She has to euthanize her cat this week.
So I guess what I could do.
And sometime, Peter, from my last case management conference where it's 4 pages worth of all the shit that she wants me to bring, I guess, now for this pretrial conference, I got nothing to bring. You understand that, right?
What does she want you to bring?
All of my exhibits, which is what we've been trying to get, all of my discovery, all of my paperwork, all of my case dockets, all of my motions, anything and everything that I've been compiling for 5 years, especially with you in the last 2 months.
Okay, so your certificate of service, you're listed here at 11120 North Gainesville, so you're going to get that.
Okay, thank you. That's fine. Okay.
Okay.
So you have time?
Sarah.
I need to schedule a conference. Yes?
I got another thing here. Hang on. Scheduling information that you're looking for. That's coming to you. This one says, I'm sorry, hang on a second. Okay, so it says, so now we're looking at the one that's disbinded, the denial for the court-appointed counsel. It says, respondent cites no statutory or other legal authority for the relief being requested.
What did it say? I couldn't understand any of that.
It says that respondent cites no statutory or legal authority for the relief being requested. No relevant statutory or legal authority. So you're going to get a copy of that as well.
What does that mean? Is it something that we can just figure out the jargon and then outsmart it? Like, is it something that just needs to be reworded or added?
So basically they're saying that you have no grounds on which to request this, whatever it is she's requesting. She really has no idea, hey, what she's doing. Like, remember when she was supposed to be defending herself and she kicked and fought and scratched and and made everybody's life absolutely fucking miserable until she finally got all the hard copies of everything, and then she didn't do anything with it. And it became really clear that all of that fussing and fighting and demanding the hard copies and everything was literally just like rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic, because she had no idea what to do even once she had this stuff. And that feels like the level of her legal understanding, right? Like, and the way she's talking to him now, like, can we just she just wants to kind of game the system, right? She just wants to like put the right words in the right slot so that she can just get the right response that she wants. Yeah, right. Sarah going pro se and then cry. Well, she always would say to go in her letters going pro se, against her will. She would always say it was against my will. I didn't want to be pro se. It was always that she was forced to be pro se. And like with zero understanding of like, you made your bed, girly, and now it's all those lumps that are in that bed. Yeah.
Well, we provided it. We provided the statutory stuff. I mean, I'll look into it, but
Is it something you can ask Rebecca?
Rebecca's traveling. She's not even here anymore. All right, wait, let me look at the one. I want to see what she said about the order.
Who's Rebecca? Is that the third person that was on the, yeah, she just loved banquets and Cashman. Yeah, she sure did. She seems like she just hates everybody, right? Like she doesn't seem to have any concept that that she's not the only person in the world, and she's not the priority for everybody, right? Like, she couldn't seem to grasp that this is they're working on your case, and like when they need you, they'll let you know, right? Just no idea. Her letters are just wild. You can get. I was thinking I might go through some of the letters, but maybe one or two. They're all very much alike, but yeah, they're pretty wild. Her lack of self-awareness is evident in basically everything that she does.
Denying Owens. Basically, I think what it's saying is like, you don't have any legal right for that, because you don't. As a family law,
My effing property.
but as a family law attorney, asking, like, family law court doesn't have to give you an attorney.
It just sounds like we didn't put enough whatever it is in there in order for her to say, yes, you can have it.
I don't.
Right, that's it. They're denying her a free attorney. And she's saying, oh, well, we just didn't say the magic words. We just got to say the magic words. And that's very typical of how narcissists approach trying to get you to do something that you don't want to do. They just say anything, and they will change tacks. When one tack isn't working, they'll go to another one, until they say the magic words that get them what they want, right? You think of that that TikTok that Christina put up of Lauren, where she is flicking through all the justifications for her behavior, just one after another, after another, after another, like she's on some automatic pilot. That's exactly what that reminds me of what Sarah's doing here. Like, she's just like, we just have to find the right magic words to say to get, she doesn't have any deeply held convictions about anything except that she's a victim. And she deserves to have everybody do things for her, but it's like, whatever. She just says whatever. And if that doesn't work, she'll move on to say the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and the next thing.
I don't know if that's accurate, but I think that if...
Okay, so what about the next one?
Okay, hang on.
Right.
Why can't I have... So no to an attorney, and no, you can't have your documents back in order to be your own attorney.
Right, exactly. Okay.
And nonetheless, isn't that her forfeiting my right to counsel, which is my Sixth Amendment constitutional right? I mean, it's part of due process to have an attorney appointed to you.
That's literally what Batty McBatface was saying there. The free attorney only applies if your liberty is at stake. This is family law. So she's again, what do you know? Sarah's ignorant of the law. Huh.
Okay, now you're gonna get another document called the Order After Case Management Conference on March 26th. So this just kind of spells out like what happened during that trial. Yeah, it's like the court minutes. Okay, and then I think there's one more email I got. Hang on, let me just make sure.
So what's the reason? So did you already read the one about James and giving me my setback?
Yeah, the same verbiage as the other one, which was...
How can that be? They're completely two different motions.
No, two different files that were filed, denying each one separately. But the only reason that she gave was what I said, which was that respondent does not cite any. I can reread it to you. Hang on.
That's fine. When she says that we didn't cite something that has not been looked at, that has not been put in there, like citing case law.
Well, Sarah, I mean, we used all the case law that I could possibly find. I mean, the problem is that there's no case law saying that she needs to do this, right? Because as a family law attorney, like as a family law court, they don't have to assign you an attorney.
She just thinks that if she throws enough spaghetti at the wall, eventually it'll stick. Literally, right? If she just keeps complaining, eventually they'll give her a free lawyer.
Okay, well, you would think then that if that's the case, that she would give me my shit back from my attorney so I can represent myself. That's why I said, what am I going to be going in there with? This
is like the fourth time now that she is failing to grasp that Judge Jackson does not have jurisdiction over criminal defense lawyer James Owens.
Stapled hot air?
Right, but I mean, what do
I don't
we say?
understand why she's prolonging this. If she knows that I'm going to walk in there with nothing, what is her point?
Yeah, I mean, it's the judge's fault, right? I mean, that seems pretty clear. It's the judge's fault. Yeah, I hear him getting defensive now. Yeah, right. I mean, you can only put up with this stuff for so long before you start losing your shit, right? Like that's why gray rock, right? That's why gray rock was invented, to deal with these people, because you have to give them nothing that they can latch onto, right? Because they are just relentlessly grasping.
I don't understand why she's making me wait till the 28th. What is the point of her giving me 30 extra days?
Oh, and I got something saying order granting respondent's motion to withdraw the file on March 23rd. So they withdrew that file.
What does that mean?
That was the first one we did. Remember, we had withdrawn a file.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Can you call me back?
They're going to call us for dinner, so I have to wait 30 minutes anyway, and it's pouring ass rain, and the air conditioning's broken again, and we have no water.
Oh my God, she has to have a litany of complaints. He literally said, can you call me back? And instead of going, yeah, I'll call you back in 30 minutes. No, she has to have a litany of complaints before she can get there.
So I don't know what we're going to have to do in the evening time. So if you will allow me to, I will call you later on, whenever that might be, when we get back.
Yeah, just give me a call back and eat some food and just relax.
I'll call you later. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Oh my God. Okay, so there is a part 3. So I think I'm going to just play it, and y'all can come along with me for that ride too. This is number 10. Part 3. So we're still on the 28th of April, 2025. We'll move on to the next one. Hang on, what does it say, Sigma? Sigma says, and Sarah also shares something in common with Lori Vallow, Wendy, and Donna Adelson. They were all contestants on televised game shows back in the day. I know, right? Isn't that weird? I mean, I guess they're the types, right? They want that attention. Billie Jean says, but Penny, she's trying to keep her head underwater. Don't forget. Yeah. I wish I was better at gray rock. I'm crap at it. Then I feel guilty for my reactions. It's like shouting into a void. Yeah, gray rock is not, it's not, again, I mean, dealing with these people is not for the faint of heart, and developing a gray rock technique, it goes against the grain for a lot of us, right? Because we do have empathy, and we do feel kindness, and we have a desire to be altruistic with the people around us, right? And it feels very, very wrong to be rude to people, or to be cold to people, or to not, give back emotionally when somebody is giving to you emotionally, right? It can be extremely hard for people who don't, people who have functioning empathy. But to my mind, it's literally like developing any other kind of a muscle, that it's uncomfortable, right? When you first start lifting weights, or you first start jogging, or you first start doing sit-ups or whatever, right? You're quite sore, and it's painful, and you have to take a break between days, right? Because your muscles are sore, right? Because you have to break whatever it is that breaks, and it has to remend, and then it's stronger, or whatever, how muscle building works. But it's kind of the same with gray rock, right? Like, it's hard and it's uncomfortable, but it's a skill that you can develop, and that terrible discomfort that you feel starts to ebb as your sense of yourself starts to flow, right? So just saying, it is difficult, but it's worth, to my mind, it's worth the continued efforts. So carrying on with Sarah here, sorry.
Welcome back to the Boondoggle Tapes, a collection of recorded phone calls, emails, and journal entries of Sarah Boone, convicted of murdering her fiancé by zipping him up in a suitcase and leaving him to die. The Boondoggle Tapes may be disturbing to some listeners. Viewer discretion is advised. You are joining us on April 28th, 2025, from Lowell Prison located in Ocala, Florida. In today's call, Sarah addresses her friendship with Lana, futuristically, that is. Let's dive in.
This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording.
Thank you for using Global Tellink.
Sorry, just like there's no air conditioning in our dorm, and like girls are fighting over taking a shower in a bucket in the bathroom, and just the officer had to come in here, and it's literal insanity right now. And all of the lights are off with no running water.
Why don't you guys have running water?
Because they turned it off for whatever the reason was, and then nobody's turned it back on, and now they can't turn it back on. So it's just crazy, and with no air conditioning, and the lights are off. Are you in your car driving?
I am, yeah.
Okay. Well, can you answer me this too? Because I'm supposed to call Kevin Beck. What have you and Julian been talking to him about?
Nothing. I haven't really. I've spoken to Kevin like twice. I emailed him a bunch about trying to get in touch with you more than anything. I asked him to look over the motions that we were going to file, and he told me they looked awesome, and that was it.
So help me understand this, or what I should do. Okay, so did he ask you to ask me if I wanted to talk to him directly?
I'm sorry, what?
Did he ask you to ask me if I wanted to talk to him directly?
The way I remember it is that you wanted to speak with him about your appeal and your family law case and some other things, and I was going to set up that call and try and facilitate that. That's kind of where we left off.
Well, I'm wondering what he wants to talk to me about, because I remember when you asked me if I wanted to talk to him directly, and I thought he was asking you so you could be cut out as the middleman. Because I don't know, did you get my really big message that I sent to you of things that I've just been have been carried over from the 25th? Like there was a whole Bree is on there. Like nobody's told me about Bree, and she called like a month ago. Like I just don't know what's going on.
Okay,
so I was just trying to play catch up.
I'm not sure who you had asked for the request to talk to Kevin and catch up with him, ask him about.
You're breaking up really bad. Sorry.
You had asked to talk to Kevin. Wanted to talk to him, rightfully so, about him talking to Josh Adams and making sure that his input was put into the deal. I think you had some other questions you wanted to ask him about, and if he's willing to talk to you, that would be fantastic, because then you can ask him his advice on your family law stuff and anything else.
Yeah.
I think that would be
great. It's just really weird, because emailed him for me. Yes, he's willing to speak to me, but then I wrote him back and I said, are you still willing to be the ineffective assistance of counsel during my trial? Are you still willing to do this? Are you still willing to do that? A whole bunch of stuff that he told me he was willing and able to do, and then now he said he's not. So I don't know what it is I'm supposed to be talking to him about on the phone.
He wrote you back and said he's not willing to do that?
Right. He wrote back, and she read it. She wrote it to me verbatim and said that, I forgot the word is, that he's not going to cooperate. That's the word. He's not going to cooperate.
That might be for legal reasons. I don't know, but
that might be what?
It might be for legal reasons, and it very well might be to protect his own legal standing. I would get it from the horse's mouth and ask him why.
I'm going to. I just didn't know what you and Julian had been talking to him about, and I didn't want to miss something. So he's on my to-do list this week.
The only thing I heard him.
Okay.
He said they looked really impressive.
Okay, that's fine.
So then
I'll say it one more time.
Julian spoke with Bree Kuhn.
Yep.
And she said she didn't know what you were referring to.
Oh my God. So she really is crazy. Okay. Well, I'm just not going to pursue that whatsoever, because she's literally, I believe, insane. So that's fine. I don't want anything for her to have to deal with her futuristically anyway. Told me, she goes, why are you talking to that person? And I was like, because she said this and made this statement to me and approached me when I first got over here. She's like, Sarah, she's in there for first-degree murder for shooting her husband in the back in front of her kids.
Yeah, right. And Sarah doesn't see herself as being in the company with first degree murderers, right? It's wild. She generally in one of the other calls that we were watching, she said something about, about being in there with real murderers. Like, are you kidding me? Like, listening to the person that you claim to be in love with begging for their life and turning your back and walking away is one of the most cold-blooded, brutal murders I have heard of. Honestly, like, and she just doesn't see herself in that company, right? She genuinely sees herself as a victim. It's hard to imagine the mindset that she's actually in.
Yeah.
So,
I think a lot of people in prison, when they approach you with that kind of stuff,
okay, well, scratch her. Just never mind. Okay, whatever. Hold on. I'm trying to look at my list.
I get the impression, Sigma, that Sarah is kind of universally disliked in prison, no? I'm not sure what you mean by boss material, but I kind of picture Sarah being like, I don't think that she really knows how to relate to women. The way I see her is that she's like a man's woman, right? She likes attention from men, and she sacrificed any female friendships that she ever might have had in order to pursue that. And so now she's stuck in a facility where it's all women. I don't think she really knows how to get along. I could be wrong. Obviously, I could be wrong, but my feeling about her is that she's probably quite universally disliked in prison.
Time, please, if you don't mind. Oh, Lana. How did she, in quotes, reach out to you?
she emailed me
When, yesterday?
either yesterday or the day before.
That's cool. Did you respond?
I don't know. If I did, I'm so busy, Sarah. If I did, it was like just, hey, I'll get right back to you. Let me talk to you. I got to get back to you. I'm too busy.
I missed that. Are they talking about Lana? They keep giving her cheese patty back face, yeah. And she thinks it's because they like her, right? But it's because she's a rat. She has to be disliked. She has no charisma and zero chill. Yeah, like in one of the phone calls where she's talking about, like, I'm just sitting on my bunk being perfectly innocent and reading my Bible, and nobody likes me. Like, oh, that's hard to fathom, Sarah.
If I did, I don't even know.
Okay, well, I hope you didn't, but if you did, whatever. Sometime I know that you're in your car, obviously going somewhere. Are you sitting in there waiting to get off the phone to me to go do whatever you got to?
No, it's okay. No, I'm driving.
Are you sure?
Yeah, just keep going.
Okay. So, I told about this, and said, she goes, what the fuck, Sarah? She thinks that she's lost her mind because 2 days prior, she went on Tanika's show to make sure that she apologized to Tanika and she apologized to all of her fans.
Okay, so she's definitely talking about Lana. Yeah, I think I mentioned her before. I think that's Christina who we were talking about, right? Suma, she was younger, and they had that saccharine sweet friendship or whatever. And then when Christina got out, she understandably was like carrying on with her life and didn't have all of her waking thoughts there in the jail with Sarah. And yeah, she moved on with her life as well she should have done. Hey, Jules. Nice to see you. Aren't you in the UK? Yeah. Sorry. Well, maybe you can fall asleep while you're listening. Remember, she got straight A's in school. It's true. Well, that's maybe kind of what I was saying, Sigma, about you're saying that she can get a racket going or whatever. And what I was saying before. Yeah, Christina Pena, Suma. That's exactly who. Like, I feel like once all this family court and the appeal and all that, once that's all over, she will have sort of a chance to settle in a bit and find her way. And maybe you're right, you know, maybe she will. I mean, she has to find people that she can scapegoat, right? That's how these people survive. So she will work her narcissist magic on someone. I have no doubt.
She apologized for being my friend at one point and for being nice to me and ever helping me out, and said that she will never speak to me again or help me out futuristically. And then 2 days later or a day later, she asks you to buy me a hot meal and give me commissary.
Well, I mean, if you just take a step back, I mean, she's doing that with that crowd because she's trying to look. I mean, you and I probably don't have much like experience with social media, but like with this kind of nonsense. But these people are pretty brutal, and when you get doxxed, they like basically like email you. Like I've been doxxed, so I'm all over the internet now regarding your case, and
Yeah.
and I've already started getting like.
It's not really doxed, is it? Like, I mean, does he not know that all this stuff is publicly available to the public? I don't know if that counts as doxing. What are people saying over here? She excels at everything. She's an amazing mother to her son. Jim, does anybody think that Wendy will be arrested? I begin to, you know, my hope is fading. I am trying to have faith in the final words of Georgia Kappelman being, you know, what was the question somebody asked her, can we assume something? And I can't remember how she put it, but she kind of, hey, Grizzly Bear, Kelly D, nice to see you. She kind of implied that, yes, you know, we could look forward to another arrest. And that was many moons ago now. And I am beginning to lose faith. But I was listening to today, for some reason, I was listening to Georgia Kappelman's closing in the Donna Adelson trial. And man, she is really good. She is really, really good. I feel like I would love to see her take a stab at Wendy.
Random emails from people, you know, it's not going to be good, but it is what it is. The best thing you can do is just not respond and not take anything personally and just deal with it. And people are saying some pretty cruel things, but what
about you or Lana or both?
Well, they're saying bad shit about me. They're saying bad stuff about Lana. They're saying bad stuff. I'm on the phone, dude. Wait, I'm sorry. What? 1 second.
If you need to go, I'll call you tomorrow.
No. Hang on. Hey, yeah. So yeah, they're saying nasty stuff and all that, but it's just, it is what it is. She's, you know, obviously like watching this stuff a million times, you know, over, and taking all of this criticism to heart. So what she's trying to do, I would imagine, and I haven't talked to her or anything, but I can empathize with how she's probably trying to, you know, stop the backlash by saying those things.
Yeah, right. So here he is trying to be understanding about the position that Lana is in. And Sarah's just like, no, she's not having any of it. Yeah, I really do feel like I just want to see that smug little smile wiped permanently off of her face. It seems with each time that she testifies, I'm talking about Wendy Adelson, that it gets, her smile is a little less certain. And I would love to see it wiped finally off of her face altogether. Hi, Carolina Hurtado. Nice to see you. Saying hi to everybody. Nice to see you. We are talking about Georgia Kappelman and listening to Sarah Boone. Yeah, I love Sarah. I love Georgia Kappelman. She is She is the actual proper goods, I think. Somebody else was saying, I think that she has, was it you, Sigma, saying the same also, that she has a good chance at becoming a judge. I think she'd be a great judge. Didn't her co-counsel in the last one, I can't remember her name now, Sarah, the other blonde, she was going for judgeship. I don't think she got it, but Sarah does not like her people talking behind her back. No, well, I mean, once she has decided, like, people are either all good or all bad. She's decided Lana's all bad, and now nobody else is allowed to like Lana anymore. Absolutely, she needs to have that that control. Oh, I think it was Grizzly saying that they thought that that Georgia should be a judge. Yeah, I'm sure she will, and I'm sure that her boys, again, like, do you people not realize that children grow up and they grow up actually really fast, right? Like, 15 years is not that long, and your children are watching you and judging you all the while. I mean, I don't know, like with people like Donna, though, look at the iron grip she had on two of her children. Wendy doesn't strike me as I'm not going to say she's not as bad as Donna. She certainly is, but I don't think she has the same. She was dominated by Donna, so I think she dominates through subterfuge, whereas Donna dominates kind of directly. But I would not be surprised to see those boys turn their back on her.
And then she probably felt guilty that she did and said, let me try and be Sarah's friend. I'm just trying to put myself in her shoes and say, okay, well, why would she do those two things at once?
She's trying to play both sides of the fence.
It seems like it, but I can understand why she would be saying that to that crowd.
Well, then she shouldn't have done that in the first place. And then my thing also is, do you know that we have no trust with her in any way, shape, or form ever going forward, right? There is no loyalty.
So I don't speak to her. She was your...
Well, I'm talking about, me and we're talking about how do we know that this is not like, she's throwing out bait of commissary and a hot meal to see if I take it so she can go and make fun of me with the deep pockets comment that she made on her YouTube thing live.
She said when she wanted to give you the hot meal that she would pay for it and then tell you it was from her.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and guess that Lana probably had some residual, guilt or whatever, because if she had ordinary functioning empathy and she fell for Sarah's nonsense, she probably genuinely cared about Sarah, and to suddenly turn her back on her would maybe feel uncomfortable for her, so she would be maybe trying to assuage her guilt. I have no way of knowing that. I'm literally just speculating, of course. Lana could have been just playing everybody, she could have been playing Tanika, for all I really know. But I'm just saying that Sarah will refuse to consider anything in the light most favorable to Lana. You know what I mean? Like, she will always look at it as a betrayal and the absolute worst. And that's like, narcissists are like that, right? They want to control who you talk to and who you're friends with, because if you're friends with other people, you might find out how terrible they really are.
You do realize that she can contact me directly also. I have not deleted her as a contact.
Yeah, but you're not responding to her. I don't know. I don't know. I can't guess as to what her reasons are or for doing what she's doing. I mean,
that's fine.
I mean, I can.
So what do you suggest? I mean, it makes no difference because no one's approved. So, and remember her 1,000,001 reasons why she couldn't even apply. So now she's trying to go through you to.
Here, you want me to read you what she wrote me?
I mean, was it the fact that she was on kidney dialysis 3 times a week? Might that have had something to do with it? My God. I would tend to agree with you, Suma. That was my impression of her. But, I can be off, right? So I always like to just sort of say I'm speculating. I didn't get the impression. I got the impression that Lana was genuinely trying to help Sarah. And then as she came to kind of realize who she was dealing with, she was genuinely trying to come to terms with that. And she was dealing with all of that while she was, waiting for a kidney transplant that she knew very well was likely never going to come, right? So to be wrestling with those kind of issues at that stage of your life, knowing that you're leaving your children, your child behind and everything, like she was going through some real stuff. And throughout it, my impression of her was that she was trying to do the right thing. So just to say, I agree with your analysis, Suma.
Oh my gosh, yes, please. And my thing is, so then why would she tell you that she was sending the money to you knowing that you're not approved? And what is going on? Is this like a whole ploy to try to make fun of us even greater?
Okay, so she said, hey, Peter, long time. I texted you, but I remembered you said something about changing your phone number, which I never did. So I thought I thought I'd email you on this address. Because you probably emailed me on the other one and I didn't reply. Sorry for all the redundancy with your multiple email addresses. I'm not sure which one you're looking at or used most. I also have a few I use for different reasons. I don't know what that means.
Oh my God.
I got contacted by Tanika, who, as you know, checks out on the reports on Sarah. She emailed me the visitor list and it showed you were denied due to fraudulent info. She asked me if I knew anything, and I truthfully answered that I didn't have a clue. I didn't let her know that the name they showed was misspelled. They have you spelled as Peter Gunthier instead of Gunthal. I wonder if they couldn't verify you because of that misspelling. Handwriting is a tricky thing. Mine is the worst chicken scratch ever. I should have been a doctor. And then she said, anyways, I was also curious because before Sarah and I fell out, I promised her a hot meal. I was going to ask you to get one and I'd pay you for it. You wouldn't even tell Sarah if it was for me, and I keep like I kept my word as it's been bugging me.
Yeah, so she was trying to keep her word. At the same time, Billie Jean said she didn't buy Santa's or Lana's story of coming to have her eyes opened about Sarah, and she found her impact statement at the sending things really offensive, and couldn't get past that. And I think that's absolutely fair. I mean, I'm not, absolutely. She was carrying water for a murderous narcissist who killed an innocent man and then smeared him and his family all over town to try to get out of it. So absolutely. On the other hand, I can kind of see that there are those people who could be taken in by someone like Sarah, right? That are deeply naive for one reason or another, either from youth and inexperience or whatever. So, but you're absolutely within your rights to not forgive Lana or not believe in her. That's fair enough. She was offering, aid and comfort to the enemy, essentially, right? So I can relate to that feeling. Addie says Lana was a good person based on what? She was trying to do the right thing. You guys are making an excuse for an abusive, deranged POS, and she never changed on Sarah. Sarah turned on her. Wow. Okay, well, yeah, so, people have different opinions about Lana. I can understand that for sure. That was not the feeling that I had from her, but, I've been wrong. So certainly you could well be on the nose. And Carolina was friends with her on Facebook. So there you go. Yeah, I mean, we're not all going to experience everything exactly the same way, and that's fine. Arg, Sarah's Viz was beyond offensive. VIS, is that her statement? And an utter insult to true victims. Yeah, I mean, they all do that. They all do that. They all exploit real victims for their own purposes. That's part of the MO of every narcissist you ever meet in your life.
It's misspellings. I'm not sure what that means. I am also giving you the heads up because I'm sure people will point this out. Tanika isn't the only sleuth receiving reports about Sarah, and we're still engaged due to the letter writing, family court, and appeal stuff. I have lots of thoughts on the letters and motions, but I don't want to burden you. I hope you're doing well. Lana Albert.
She's full of shit, dude. I'm sorry. Like, that makes no sense. Does she think that you're a stupid fool? You're not approved, so why is she going to how's she going to give you money for a hot meal? I say ignore it.
There's nothing I can
Don't respond.
Yeah, there's like nothing I can do about it anyway. Even if she was going to give me the money.
She's only made everything worse. Whatever.
Problem is, it's just, the more fuel that she's dumping onto that fire.
Again, how do we know that this isn't her throwing out the hot meal bait, hoping I bite at it, to go back and say that she is deep pockets?
Right, because that's what Sarah would do, right? That's what Sarah would do. She just assumes that everybody's doing what she would do. Soom says, I'm not sure why Peter didn't just write his own FOIA request, considering he's a documentarian, allegedly. Yeah, with no money and no backers and no anything. If you go watch Tanika's 2 cents, I'm sure you have, but she's got all the dirt on who and what Delepine Creative and all their backers really are. You can find their web pages on the it's gone from the kind of general internet, but you can find it on the Wayback Machine on the Internet Archive, and they've removed a bunch of, like, from the face of the website that you're looking at. If you try to click on the links, none of them work, but they didn't actually delete the URLs, so you can actually click on the URLs and still go and see like who were all their partners, their supposed partners or whatever. And a bunch of them were like them with different businesses, and like it was all just a scam, basically. Yeah, so yeah, it's interesting because he's scamming her this whole time while he's he's making excuses for Lana, who probably wasn't scamming her, in my opinion. So it's an interesting combination of things. I'm not sure how. I'm not sure. Like, I would just never have done what Peter and Julian did. Even though Sarah's a narcissist and she deserves every shitty thing that happens to her, I just wouldn't want to be the person doing the shitty thing to her, because I just don't like doing shitty things. So I tend to be suspect of Julian and Peter anyway.
That she's what?
Deep pockets. She made the comment that Sarah needs to find friends that have deep pockets, because she swears, and backed me up. She goes, Sarah, you've never asked her for anything. Out of all the letters that she's read, she's offered me everything. But she's making it out to be like, I'm like, can I, please, all the time with her, when I've had nothing on my account for how long, even before I even knew her, which is how she even got to know me in the first place, because she kept putting money on my account without me even asking, and I thought she was just another weirdo like the other ones were. That's what I think this is. And that's the comment that she made. That was the day before she wrote me directly on my tablet and said, Sarah, I'm really rooting for you in regards to your family law case, and here's this information, and go kick his ass, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, are you serious? You just told me all the shit that you said about me the day before, and now you've got your pom-poms shaking them in my face? Like, you're insane. Like, I think she's insane. And then to know.
Yeah, so this is like the perfect example of the splitting thing that they do, right? Where like she thought that Lana was the bee's knees, right? And all that sugar, saccharine, sweet praise that she heaped on her tablet every day about how she loved her to the end of the earth, and et cetera, et cetera. She was all good. Now it turns out not so much. Now she's all bad, and she can't conceive of Lana having nuanced or mixed feelings or difficulties in coming to terms with what's going on or anything like that, right? She can only conceive of her as all bad.
know automatically that you're not approved, but to ask you to get me an effing hot meal because she's bothered by not getting it for me? Peter, something is not connecting in her brain.
Right? Something is literally not connecting in Sarah's brain, that she can't imagine that someone might have nuanced feelings, right? And someone that might, even in spite of having a falling out with you, that person might somehow want to still stick to their word because they have integrity, right? She cannot conceive of that. All she can conceive of is that it's a manipulation.
Yeah, something's like I reached out to you, right? Because I have a mission, right? Like I have
Yes.
a cause that I'm working.
A whole purpose.
We have a mission.
She's pitiful and lonely.
Yeah, I think she's lonely. I think, and that breaks my heart. She's probably trying to find purpose, like most of us humans.
She hates her life, what she did to me and you guys. You have to know that. Her guilty conscience is probably real heavy on her ass now.
Right? She can't allow anybody to feel anything for her, right? She has to control how Peter sees her and feels about her. This bit of the footage from the day is always so, like, I literally, when I see her, I start to actually feel hungover because there is so much hangover emanating off of her that, like, it feels like, and that's like through a screen, it feels like it's infecting me with hangover.
And it's too far gone. There's no way you're ever crossing over my line ever again.
She definitely did a lot of damage.
The same thing with me. People have to make stuff up. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But you have to admit, which is what I think you're getting to, it does hurt for them to be saying all of these monumental, ceaseless, unnatural, untrue rumors and accusations and anything that they can say ugly about you just because they can, because they have no lives and this is what they do.
Yeah, I mean, like I think I said to you this before. I mean, I think that YouTube and social media, it is its purpose, right? Which is not to look at the gray areas and things. It's basically for people to go online and look at cases and feel good about themselves, that they're not in that situation, and to look at whatever the narrative is and feel better about their own stuff. I mean, if you try to like go to these true crime channels and have them be a little introspective and look at the nuance, that's not the purpose.
It's so awesome that I was literally saying those exact words, right? I mean, he is clearly capable of more nuance than Sarah is, but then on the other hand, like, somebody who is capable of this kind of deceit to get something that they want, to me is, I don't know. I don't like it.
Purpose. That's the purpose of a documentary. There's a lot of stuff that still is unanswered. I mean, I'm preaching to the choir here, but
Been there, done that.
it's like, shoveling sand back into the sea.
Oh my gosh, I love it. That's what I said. I told her, well, this is when I officially disassociated myself with her and said, do not contact me again. I told her, I said, you and Tanika are one grain of sand on all of the beaches combined in every single universe that God created.
Oh yeah, good one, Sarah. That's awesome. Suma says, I think she might have every personality disorder in the DSM. And I mean, she certainly seems that way, but honestly, like, that's the thing about narcissism. Like, if you're far on the end of the spectrum of narcissism, it's not called a disorder for nothing, right? These people are disordered to the point of being, even without substances, it's like they are intoxicated by their disorder, right? They are struggling in so many ways and on so many levels. And we, often we don't, you can meet people like that and kind of not be aware of how badly they are struggling and how disordered they are by their personality disorder. Like, it is, my son's father was this badly disordered. And it was, once you saw it, you could not unsee it.
Nothing. You're minute beyond minute. And I said, there's too many of you guys to fend off. So just go be you, but just go be you somewhere else. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Well, said that her letters are running out on me, so she's trying to find other cases that she can start on as opposed to me.
At the end of the day, Sarah, you got to take a step back and just be happy with who you are and understand your own intentions.
Hell to the yeah. You don't got to tell me that. Believe me, I love myself.
I guess I'm talking more about Lana, but
Thank you.
what these people say or what they do is because I frankly, I just don't care. That's it.
I love you. And listen, just please, if you don't mind, like I told is chomping at the bit. I'm having to hold her back. Don't say anything, okay? I told her to be like a ninja and just watch from afar, okay?
Jules, yeah, they will apologize if there's something in it for them, right? For sure, right? I have been apologized to by narcissists, many of them, because it will get them what they want. But then later, when they go back to doing the thing that they apologized for, and you say, hey, but you owned up to that and apologized, they will go, I just said that because I wanted you to make me a sandwich, or whatever it was that they wanted, right? So I suspect there are some that will never apologize, but for the most part, even somebody like Sarah kind of understands that she can't be terrible all the time, right? That like people will not tolerate you if you're terrible all the time. Like you can see in her texts with George and stuff that she wasn't terrible to him all the time. Sometimes she was like, come over, I miss you, I love you, love bombing, being sweet, I want to be with you, whatever. They know that they can't be terrible every minute, or you just wouldn't put up with them, right? And if an apology is needed to move things forward so that they can get out of whatever hot water they're in, they will sometimes apologize. Absolutely.
And if we have to attack, then we will. But please don't respond to Lana. I fully want her to know that we have chosen our side as she has hers, and our loyalty lies with each other, and that doesn't include her. I'm never that hungry, ever.
Honestly, Sarah, like I don't even have any ill will toward Lana. Like I mean, I understand.
She betrayed me.
I understand.
You don't get it.
Yeah. So what he doesn't understand is Sarah, and he doesn't understand how much she is not going to listen to anything that he has good to say about Lana. And it's interesting to me that watching all this play out, because as Sigma says, they were using each other. But at the same time, I don't think that Peter really knew what he was dealing with. Like, it's clear that he does not understand what a narcissist actually is, right? Everything he's saying now is like a red flag to a bull, right? She is not going to accept from him any explanation of Lana's behavior, any empathetic response to Lana's behavior. No way, no how. And it seems obvious that he has no idea that that's the case, that he thinks that he can somehow, soften the edges of this thing.
Well, I think that what she did was wrong, and I told her that, and
No, she's doing that to make other people like her because she knows of all people in her life, we don't. She did that, we didn't. So, listen, I know you got to go. Please tell me before we have to hang up, but when may I please call you again? Because there are good things that I have to tell you about, but it's way too much for me to tell you on the phone.
I got a little free time right now if you want to call me back.
They're about to do head count, and we had 5 head counts earlier. We were on our bed. It started at noon, and we didn't get off of our bed until 2:48 when I called you for that split second, and then I had to get back up again because we had to do another head count because they had lost inmates, 5 inmates they couldn't find. So they did it over and over and over and over again, and we were on our beds for 3 hours. So they're about to do it again, so I won't be able to call you back until later, and girls already have their names on the damn phone. So that's why I was trying to figure out to simplify our lives. When can I call you back?
Just give me a shout tomorrow. What time do you think you can call?
Whenever it's convenient for you, Peter. You tell me to jump. I'm going to ask how high.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you a window.
No, because dinner's at like 3:15.
Hilarious. You say jump and I say how high, except that he was literally just trying to get her to feel a little bit of something for Lana, and she's like, no, fuck that. So interesting, the lack of self-awareness.
How about 2:00?
Okay, I can do 2:00. Okay, that's fine. God bless. Thank you. And I'm going to send you this financial affidavit information, or you wanted me to send that to you, right? Because me and her are getting on the phone first thing, and then she's going to forward it to you. That's the plan?
Yep, that's the plan.
Okay. If you can send me or figure out whatever for the Easter thing, just whenever you can let me know, because I want to confirm it so I can get on Brian if it was delivered on the 25th. Okay.
Whew. Okay. So 2 things about this right here. There's no third rail here. Where is the third rail? And why did they miss the opportunity to put an E in boondoggle? Yes, Peter thought he could manipulate the manipulator. I believe that you're right. I think he thought he could, manage her or handle her. The way people have handlers for like, somebody that's like a diva actor type thing, like a Johnny Depp would have handlers. Yeah, but no, you can't. I mean, that's the thing. Like, knowing that somebody's a narcissist and actually tangling with a narcissist and knowing what you're tangling with are 2 different things. She is very entertaining. It's absolutely true. Blah, blah, blah. That's a whole other conversation I'm not party to. Hang on. Yeah. Okay, well, I think I'm done for the day. That's nearly 3 hours of Sarah Boone, the Boone head. So thank you all for coming. I super appreciate you being here. And Boss Lady, always appreciate your help and your support over here. It means the world to me, and all of you guys mean the world to me. I'm super glad to have found this nice community to be a part of. So tomorrow morning at it'll be 7:30 Pacific, which is 8:30 Mountain, I will be starting a live stream to do the to listen to the closing arguments for the Corey Richins case. I'm really fingers crossed that Mr. Bloodworth is going to be doing it for doing the argument for the prosecution. Yes, I'm very excited about my weeks off too. So I've got 2 weeks off, so I'm going to be online quite a bit if I can. I find that I am less and less interested in going to work. Not that I was ever all that interested in going to work, but you know what I mean. Yeah, thank you, Jem. Thank you, Billie Jean. Thank you, Eddie and Jules and Suma and Boss Lady and Mary and Beth and everybody. And if I'm missing you, it's not because I don't love you. It's because my brain is shutting down after talking about Sarah Boone for 3 hours. So yeah, I will bid you all a fond farewell, and we will meet again sometime soon. Don't know where, don't know when. Well, we know it'll be on YouTube. But yes, hope to see you tomorrow to listen to the closing arguments. Apparently it's going to be Wendy Lewis arguing for the defense. So look forward to that, and thank you all so much for coming, and I will love you and leave you until next time.